back in here. 1967, the LA Kings enter the NHL. Marcel Dionne, one of the greatest offensive players of his era. A great player, but hockey still wasn't on the front page in LA. 1988, and it's number 99. The greatest of all time is in town. That changed things. Wayne Gretzky set NHL scoring records and put hockey right there, front and center, for 7 glorious years. And shuttle on ahead, and it's Wayne Gretzky with the St. Louis Blues. The King abdicates his throne, but now he comes back. The Blues in town to face the Kings tonight. It's St. Louis and Los Angeles next on TSN and your front row center. Well, before the trade, this was just another game, but not now. It's the return of Wayne Gretzky to the Great Western Forum. It's the Kings and the Blues coming up, second half of our doubleheader. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Paul Romanuk, along with Howie Meeker and Ryan Walter. Wayne Gretzky booed in Anaheim yesterday. Pretty good cheer went up here when his name was announced as being in the starting lineup tonight, so that's got to be a good sign. He's done so much for hockey in this city and, of course, in the United States. Now let's talk about his team, the St. Louis Blues. It's an older team, average age over 30. Does Mike Keenan have what he wants, age, and is he going to win a Stanley Cup?
Well, Paul, Mike is Mike, a very high-profile person. He creates outside pressure on his teams, and what's happened is he's gone out and got a group of fellas that he knows can handle Mike Keenan and handle the opposition as well. Sure, they're older, but I'll tell you something, folks. Mike Keenan is right a lot more times than he's wrong. Don't bet against him.
And they've gotten a lot older. The Los Angeles Kings have gotten a lot younger. Here's a team average age somewhere around 25. Wayne Gretzky's team, a veteran team, but the club he's facing, a club in rebuilding mode. Fair to say for the Kings?
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. This club is a contrast to the St. Louis Blues. They're, like you mentioned, they're a younger club, especially now that they've moved Curry, McSorley, and Gretzky. Larry Robinson, their head coach, is in a teaching mode, and he's going to teach these young players how to win. Might take a couple of years.
All right, you look at this St. Louis team, everybody's still waiting for the offense to explode. And no sign of that yet, save for little examples. Power play last night was 0 for 7, looking for a big improvement as they continue their 5-game road trip. Gretzky and the Blues coming up against the Kings next.
All right, welcome back to our TSN Control Center. I'm Gord Miller with Bob McKenzie. The focus shifts now to the Western Conference, but earlier tonight it was on the East, and what a night it's been in the Eastern Conference. Lots of developments to talk to you about. Let's show you some scores from earlier tonight. I'll just see the great ones return. Back to Paul Romanuk with Ryan Walter. And Paul, what's the reception like for Gretzky in L.A.?
I'll tell you what, Gord, it was a very nice reception. He was cheered when he came out onto the ice for the warm-up. They put a nice message up on the board saying, thank you very much, Wayne. Some highlights of goals that he'd scored with the Kings. So all in all, a very nice reception, and I think you got to be happy to see that considering all he has given to the sport in this particular market. Starting goaltenders, brought to you by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. Oh, what a surprise. Grant Fuhr's starting a game. He has started every single game this year. This is number 70 in a row. At the other end, a man who bears a startling resemblance to Val Kilmer. Kelly Hrudey gets the call for the Los Angeles Kings. So we are rolling. Wayne Gretzky is out there for the St. Louis Blues. Kings in white, Blues in blue. And aside from all the fanfare surrounding Wayne Gretzky's return here to Los Angeles, the Blues are in the midst of a big 5-game road trip and still waiting for that offense to snap to life.
Well, right off the bat, we've got a little bit of action in the neutral ice. Paul, we're going to have a penalty. And there was a collision with Corson. I think it might have been Matthias Nordstrom that ends up getting the high-sticking penalty, but he and Corson came together in the neutral zone. His stick snuck up and clipped Corson. There you see it just in the left middle of your screen right there as Nordstrom moves away. That was Shane Corson that gets the stick up. Larry Robinson right off the bat gets a power play with this very young team.
By the way, Bill McCreary is the referee. Jay Scherers and Shane Heyer on the lines. A very, very young team. Ray Ferraro, 31 years of age, the real veteran leader.
Absolutely. That was my fault there. They're going to kill some penalties here. I'm thinking of Larry Robinson on the power play. Got him in the wrong position.
So the Blues with the man advantage. And pass up ahead to Hull. Tried to tightrope his way in over the blue line. Hull, Gretzky, and Corson up front for the St. Louis Blues. Al MacInnis and Chris Pronger back at the blue line. The power play was 0 for 7 yesterday against Anaheim. Here's Gretzky. Back to McInnes. Over to Pronger. McInnes. Down to Gretzky. And you can hear the boos, and that's a surprise because you didn't hear them during the warm-up. Hull tried to center it in front. Back to Pronger. Pronger being watched by Drews. Gets it up around. Gretzky lets it go to Hull. Back for Gretzky. Centers it in front. Bouncing puck is batted away. Drews gets to it, and he will chop it, but not out. Fired back in. Corson over there to look for it. And finally the puck pushed out and down the ice with 58 seconds to go on the power play.
And Los Angeles, Paul, taking a little bit out of the book of Anaheim last night, killing penalties. Not as concerned about when Wayne Gretzky gets the puck, but taking everybody else away. Lots of attention to Mr. Hull, trying to take Shane Corson out of the middle, and not a bad idea. Let Gretzky come out of the corner and shoot if he wants to.
But isn't it amazing, Ryan, when you look at that St. Louis power play, Corson, Gretzky, and Hull up front, Pronger and McInnes at the blue line, and it just does not seem to be able to spark.
Well, there's a good example. We had Al McInnes, best shot in the National Hockey League, didn't get a shot in the first minute in the power play. He really needs to shoot the puck. Gretzky's the guy that's going to set him up. But McInnes, as of yet, has not been able to get a shot away because of the LA penalty kill.
By the way, Craig McTavish out there now for the Blues. Veteran player picked up from Philadelphia in return for Dale Hawerchuk. Penalized player steps back on. The team's all even up. And McTavish up looking for it. Smolik tried to push it around him. This is Smolik along the boards. Leach pressures him. Kravchuk. Olsen up for McTavish, trying to lasso that one. The puck gets away from him. 17:15 to go in the first period. Zeros between the King and the Blues. And McTavish is stumped as he stepped over towards the boards. Here's Todd getting it across. Finn fires that in, and Fuhrer will hang on to it.
Now it's Stephen Finn that had the big hit on Craig McTavish. McTavish in his 17th season, 36 years old, and he's an old timer. We'll see lots more of him. Collision of the old timers. Stephen Finn, 11 seasons in the league. Craig McTavish was the one that went down.
Puck comes back to Smolik. Fires it in. Fuhrer, acrobatic. Juggling around out there, knocked it away. Knocked down. Yachmanev centers it in front of the net, right across. And Saplakov couldn't get a stick on it. Smolik fires it up there. Saplakov knocks it up. Puck there at the side. They whack away at it. Yachmanev looking forward, and Fuhrer holds on. Grant Fuhrer tested early in this one. 3 shots on goal for the Kings.
And Fuhrer only lasted a period against Anaheim in a 5-1 loss. But probably lasts a lot longer tonight. He looks pretty sharp. Larry Robinson and Ricky Green working hard to get their forwards in front of the net. And there we're seeing Yachmanev and Vladimir Saplakov getting to the front of the net, Paul, and I think that's a good sign for this young LA team. Robinson wants them to be in front. That's where you're going to score the goals.
And a homecoming of sorts for Grant Fuhrer as well, who spent some time here in Los Angeles. Not quite as much a hullabaloo surrounding the return of Fuhrer, though, as Gretzky. Not sure why.
That's true.
Finn picks it up. Zezel trying to knock that puck loose down there for the Blues. St. Louis Blues, a frustrated bunch. Talking to some of them this morning. Just can't figure out why the offense just is not sparking. They've been waiting for it to come all year. Perreault. Just bounces down to the corner now. Perreault going to the front of the net. The rebound just bounced over his stick, and Hull starts back. Puck just cleared in. Lots of time for Philippe Boucher. Gretzky comes out onto the ice. Drews feathers it up ahead. Creighton trying to come out with it. Puck comes up to Gretzky. Pronger fires it up there. And the puck just flipped out. I'm not sure how that sounds at home, whether they're booing him or whether it's coming through. Here in the building, I can tell you it's a definite mixed reaction.
Yes, it is, Paul. Part of the perception here, we heard from Michael Barnett, his agent, Gretzky's agent here today in the press. And his point is that the perception of the trade here in LA might have been that Gretzky moved on to get more money. And he wanted to be right up front and say it wasn't that. That wasn't the reason that we crafted the trade. But many people have received that as a perception, and I think that's part of the booing that you're hearing here tonight.
McInnes works it across. It's rather amusing that fans in Anaheim would boo Wayne Gretzky because there wouldn't be a team in Anaheim in all likelihood if not for Gretzky. Got it in front of the net there, and a nice stop by Hrudey. That one just tipped wide. Hull and Gretzky trying to hook up there around Kelly Hrudey. Hull chopping away at it. Drews. He'll just clear it up there. Ferraro moving up.
That'd be great, Dave.
Pure just clears it up. Adam Creighton trying to fight his way loose. Finally just clears the puck down into Los Angeles territory. And the Kings will start it back. Nordstrom clears it up. Ferraro just spun out of the way of a check and dumped it down into St. Louis territory. 0-0 hockey game. 14:15 to go in the first period. Corson tips that puck up. Jan Volpat snaps it up there onto the stick of Yachmanev. And Yachmanev in tight in the corner. Siplakov gets it across. Here comes Volpat. Up to the line. Volpat has Kristich with him. He's going to try to drive in there. And that rush just runs out. Kravchuk sends it back up around. Hudson. Long pass up ahead. Anderson gets it across in front. Hrudey came across. That was Anderson breaking in towards the goal. Kristich in over the blue line. Siplakov is up there with him. Yachmanev as well. This is Corson. Is clearing it up there. Glenn Anderson after it, number 36 for the Blues. McInnes bats it up to lay it offside on the Blues. And Mike Keenan squeezing in a change in any event. Here's McInnes trying to knock it down and break in. McInnes going up to the net. Puck comes up ahead to Pearson. Tried to center it. McTavish looking for it. Bumps his man in along the boards. It comes out to McInnes. Pearson clearing it up there. Mateau trying to get to that puck. This is Todd. Todd gets it in front. Off the crossbar. Shewchuk was right in front. Tapped it up there and he hit the iron. McTavish back the other way. Great chance for the Kings.
Sorry, Paul. Good play by Shewchuk to deflect that puck. And looks like St. Louis in trying to address what you mentioned earlier in getting some more offense into their game. They've got Al McInnes up ice all the first part of this first period. He's been up ice all the time. I think we're going to see lots of that tonight.
Tardif snaking around back of the net. Pronger watching him. Todd can't pick it up. Not for lack of effort. Working hard up there. And the Blues will start it back. Pearson. This gets to center and dumps that puck in. 12 minutes to go, first period. 0-0, the Kings and the Blues. Here's Pronger, looking for a bit of room. Gretzky out there, hanging in front. Hull tried to center it to him. Drews will pick it up. Drews flips it up ahead. This is Ferraro. Ferraro trying to get away. Looking for a bit of help up there. He's going to give chase up along the boards now, but Pronger sends it up around. Hull just banking it up. Finn. That hopped off the skate of Potomski. And Potomski along the boards battling Pronger. A couple of big players there, but Hull comes away with it. Gets it down into the corner. Zezel will go hard after it. Zezel bumping his man, but the puck comes back out. Here's McInnes. Philippe Boucher for the Kings.
They've got some heavy hitters out there right now with Boucher and Tony Twist.
Puck comes up ahead. Lafayette shoots. And Zezel takes the rebound all the way around. Gets it across to Leach. Leach steers it up there, and Twist just turns and heads back to the bench. Good pace in this first period. 0-0 hockey game. Siplakov. Yannick Perreault for Siplakov. Yachmanev was up there as well. And he's watching Leach. Yachmanev and Leach. Yannick Perreault darting over there to pick up a loose puck. Here's McInnes. McInnes being watched by Kristich. And McInnes still finally gets it up ahead. Hudson starting back. This clears that puck in from center. Anderson up after into the corner. Takes the bump along the boards. Gets it in front. Corson was parked right there and almost jammed it home. Puck fired in from Kravchuk. Strobel in front. Hudson centers it out there. Anderson looking for it. Blues, good pressure here. But the Kings holding the fort. And they'll start back. Siplakov running into Kravchuk, and the fans loving that. Anderson starting back in there. They bump at the line. Siplakov gets it across. That's fired up and knocked down. Here's Pronger. Kristich was all alone in front. They couldn't get it to him. And Corson starting back for the Blues. He'll just clear it in.
Shane Corson playing a very aggressive game. People around the Blues like that. He plays better when he's feisty and aggressive, and he's done that certainly here in the first period.
Here's Todd up there, back of the net, number 12, jamming away for the Kings, trying to get that puck loose. Continues the effort on his knees, but a holding call coming up, and it's going to go against St. Louis. When we come back, the Kings on the power play.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of protection for men. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Unlike a stick that can stay in your underarm hair, this is a soft gel. It goes cleanly through the hair right down to the skin surface to fight odor and wetness where it begins. And that means effective all-day protection. A revolutionary form, Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant.
Here's to McCain from the tiny and the small. For McCain Junior Juice is the best taste of all. McCain Junior Juice from Superb Concentrate is just enough juice and deliciously great. So let's have a Junior and drink from the box. Uh-oh, time to split. Here comes the fox.
McCain Junior Juice, the just enough size.
Hey, Ryan, Larry Robinson wanted his players to go to the net. Here's what happens.
There it is. Suchak goes hard to the net and almost puts that in. Hits the crossbar. Gary Suchak, who might have been a scratch tonight. Many nights is a scratch. Tonight, Robert Long was a scratch for the LA Kings. And Gary Suchak with a good, excellent chance. Rob Pearson gets a holding penalty. Down in behind the net. He grabbed onto the wrong guy, and he's going to spend a couple minutes in the penalty box because of that.
So we'll get a look at an average Los Angeles Kings power play. 11th in the league heading into this game.
Paul, that same principle of being in front of the net that Robinson and Green are trying to espouse needs to happen here in the power play.
Boucher trying to fire it up there. Todd with that puck. Back to Boucher. He'll work it up. Good traffic in front. And the puck was whistled wide there by Jan Vopat. Vopat can really wire it. And he's back in that right point. Boucher's got a decent shot, too. Here's Boucher. Gets it in front. That's kicked away. Fuhrer read that one and got the goal stick on it to knock it away. Here's Boucher again. Looking for Vopat. And again, the Blues, a very aggressive team, shorthanded. Both Gretzky and Hull out there at times, killing off the power play.
It's one way that they can prime their offense is to try and get a couple of goals or at least one on the penalty kill. Eric Lacroix for LA doing a good job of being in front of the net.
Siplakov shoots. And the puck pushed out by Corson. Here's Boucher. 50 seconds left in the power play. Siplakov steps in. Looking around, Ferrero coasting up down in the corner, but he goes back to the line. Here's Nordstrom. Shoots. And that was kicked away. It actually hits Zaplakov, and it's finally tapped out by Pronger. 30 seconds left in the man advantage for the Kings. Here comes Zaplakov, works it up ahead. Ferrero drops it back. Nordstrom back at the line, but Kristich moves it up. Here's Ferrero looking around. Kristich goes down low towards the front of the net. Ferrero looking. Whips that across. 10 seconds left in the power play. Ferrero again. And couldn't handle the pass. Now he's got it. Gets it up there. Kristich back to Ferrero. Trying to come around. Centers it in front. Zaplakov couldn't get loose. Ferrero down to Zaplakov. Pronger watching him. Penalized player back out there. Barron gets it ahead to Pearson. Kings had a couple of shots on that power play, but the Blues come back. McTavish and Pearson rattling into the corner. Here's McTavish to Pearson. McInnes coming up on the play as well. Here's McTavish. Tried to get it in front to McInnes, but it's intercepted. Nordstrom starting back.
There we saw Al. Sorry, Paul. There we saw Al McInnes again up on the play as the third forward. We'll see lots of that tonight as these St. Louis Blues try to generate more offense.
Smolik fired that one up wide. Volpat goes after it. Volpat just ducked out of the way there. Zezel was trying to line him up. Here's McInnes. Crisp pass up ahead to Zezel. In over the blue line. Zezel looks around. Twist was going to the front of the net, but it's broken up. Potomski bouncing it outside the blue line. Cleared right back in. Here's Potomski. Pronger bats that back in.
Good coverage so far by this young LA defense. So far, so good. They've kept the Blues in front of them. Nobody in the backside. Excellent coverage.
Here comes Leach. Creighton going to the front of the net. Gretzky's out there too. Creighton with the puck now. Gets it back out for Leach. That's knocked away. Shuchuk back there working hard, trying to get it out. And the puck hits him there along the boards. Pronger back to pick it up. Here's Gretzky. Tucks it up ahead. Hull shoots. Didn't miss by much. Hull up there after it. Here's Adam Creighton. Trying to battle his way back up. Gretzky tried to center it. Picked off by Shuchuk. The puck getting by Barron. Here comes Todd. Shoots. Rebound. Hops in front. And it was tangled up there in the equipment of Murray Barron. He gets pushed down. 4:50 to go in the first. Back in a flash.
It's like having bargaining power right in my wallet.
My store has always had low prices, and I always have Canadian Tire money to make them even lower.
With this, I don't hunt for bargains. I make them myself.
20,
50,
$75 off.
It really adds up.
My dad kept his Canadian Tire money in his glove compartment.
Me, I keep mine in my pocket.
Everyday low prices. That's good.
Everyday low prices plus Canadian Tire money.
That's better.
Canadian Tire. Everyday low prices made better.
Okay, you're in a bar, right? There's a few things you should know. 1, get a good spot. Am I right? You know I'm right. 2, make eye contact with the bartender. 3, be nice to dragons. You know, smooth, strong Molson Ultra is a lot like the air in this bar. Very, very dry. I hope I don't start coughing. Last time that happened, I almost had to call the fire department. Thank you. Molson Ultra, 6.2% dry. Wickedly smooth beer.
First period is brought to you in part by Chrysler Canada. Chrysler proud to be an official sponsor of the Canadian Olympic team.
When you think of the St. Louis Blues, Mike Keenan's St. Louis Blues, you want to see the pass from Gretzky to Brett Hull, and there you see it. Gretzky puts Hull right in, and that goes off the LA defenseman's stick and wide of Rudy. Good action down the other side. Kevin Todd elects to shoot, and this puck ends up, I think, right in front of Grant Fury. Does a good job to keep it out of the net. Brett Hull with that excellent shot. He's looking to get open so that he can receive the puck from an old pal of his by the name of Wayne Gretzky.
Needs 19 goals for 500 in his career.
You gotta wonder if Gretzky won't assist in the 19 goals.
Not a bad bet. I'd take that bet. Gretzky and Hull both out there now. Adam Creighton is also up there. Mike Keenan will mix the lines up. He's had Shane Corson out there with Gretzky and Hull as well. Teams at even strength. 4:23 to go in the first period. 0-0 hockey game. Hull almost sneaking in behind there. Stephen Finn knocked the pass down. Tardif clears it up. Drews into the corner. Hull trying to get away there. Puck fired back in. Drews tied up by Creighton. He couldn't get to it. Gretzky has it for the Blues and just taps it out. Here comes Finn. Hudson clears it out. And Tardif fires it back in. Puck just bounced away from Corson there. Perreault shoots. Rising shot. Ripped that one wide of the corner. Yannick Perreault just jumping right up on top of that loose puck. Now Hull coming up with Corson. Corson looking for Hull. Corson still tried to center it in front, and the puck did not get to Hull. It's just cleared out. And Perreault coming back up. Siplakov is with him. Yachmanev with a puck. Gets it up. Siplakov on the backhand. Up back of the goal. Looking in front. Lots of traffic in front, including Perreault, who ended up in the goal. And a penalty coming up. It is going to go against the St. Louis Blues. An interference call. Yannick Perreault went to the net. Literally.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castrol GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castrol provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castrol, or watch more protection go up in smoke. Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown.
Castrol GTX. Ask for it by name at your favorite outlet.
Mike Hudson off for interference. He really tattooed Yannick Perreault, who is parked in front of the net.
Well, you can't score goals without the puck, but Hudson's scoring in the wrong end as he pushes Perreault into the net. Not sure, we've talked about the discipline that it's going to take for the St. Louis team to be good down the stretch and in the playoffs. That might be called an undisciplined penalty by Mike Hudson.
Yannick Perreault, too small to crack the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup. That was the label that was hung on him. He's done very well here in LA, leads the team with 5 game-winning goals and a big part of this club's offense.
And he really proved himself in the minors, didn't he? 99 points down in the IHL, and that's when they signed him as a free agent, brought him up. Perreault's had a great season.
And he's out there in this power play to take the face-off. Siplakov up there with him. Yachmanev back there at the point with Nordstrom. Siplakov in front. What a stop by Grant Fuhr. Beautiful save. That puck snapped to the top corner, and Fuhr, outstanding.
The St. Louis Blues are in a position where they're trying to protect Grant Fuhr. See Fuhr in the bottom of the pile there as Yannick Perreault was just nailed into Fuhr by Al McInnes, who's going to get a penalty probably for interference. Looks like cross-checking's the penalty. Here we see the chance off the shot. Excellent save by Grant Fuhr. Lafayette with a good shot. Watch right there, Al McInnes coming in on Perreault, and he gets a cross-checking call. I've often wondered, Paul, why defensemen do that. You're more likely to hurt your own goalie than the opposition player.
So a 2-man advantage coming up here for the LA Kings for 1 minute and 49 seconds, a long one.
See lots of Ray Ferraro on this power play. Mike Keenan's got to be pretty concerned about this. They were down in Anaheim and never got a chance to come back.
It is going to be Ferraro up there with Lacroix and Kristich. And back at the blue line, Nordstrom will set up over on the right point. And number 26, Philippe Boucher, over on the left point.
The key player here will be Ray Ferraro, a goal away from 500. Actually 400, check that. But he'll be the guy that'll set up the play. He's the most experienced offensive player in this LA team.
Boucher over to Nordstrom. Back to Boucher. Nordstrom shooting. Ripped that one wide, and the rebound just skipped by Kristic. But they keep it in. Nordstrom to Boucher. Back to Nordstrom. Kristic just lurking in the weeds there in front, and Pronger intercepted the pass. Boucher rips one, and Fiora was right there. And the puck muscled out. 1:20 to go in the two-man advantage. Here comes Nordstrom. Gets it back to Boucher. To Nordstrom. Top of the point. Ready, set. Over to Boucher. Back to Nordstrom. Works it down. Puck fired across, and Kristic couldn't get his stick on it. Great control here by the Kings. Puck fired in front. Fiora with the save. Ferrero was looking for it, but Chris Pronger comes through, and he'll clear the zone.
And Ray Ferrero, 5'10", right in front of the net there on the 5-on-3. That's why they were able to get the puck to the net. But good job by the LA defenseman, especially Boucher in his puck movement, and Nordstrom in his shooting.
And offside called on the Kings. 37 seconds left in the two-man advantage.
Ray Ferraro with, as we mentioned, a goal away from 400. And he was pretty upset coming from New York. He thought he had a pretty good chance of going to play on a team that might have a chance in New York of being in the Stanley Cup final. See Ferraro right in front of the net. Chris Pronger trying to move him. 5'10" and 6'6". There's a bit of a difference.
But Ferrero has run up against those odds many times in his career. As you mentioned, Ryan, 1 goal shy of career 400. You get a great effort from him.
Every night. Very consistent centerman.
Todd clears it in. 26 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Yashmanev. Gretzky and Hull are out there for St. Louis. Zaplaka had to go off his skate. Here's Yashmanev stepping in. Across. Perreault is going for it, but Hull, a nice job to redirect that pass. And Gretzky will start back for St. Louis. To Hull. To Gretzky. Fired it across, and Kravchuk had turned back the other way. Here comes Perreault. Drops it off to Todd. Moving in. Down for Perreault. Trying to center it in front. Loose puck knocked to the side. Gretzky will gobble it up. And a big kill by the St. Louis Blues. Meanwhile, back behind the play, Todd getting up rather slowly as Gretzky tried to carry it in. Kevin Todd laboring over towards the Kings bench. That happened back behind the play. But meanwhile, a big penalty kill by St. Louis. Here comes Finn. Finn just bouncing that one up there. Tardif looking for it. Here's Tardif. Tardif trying to forge his way through, but the puck knocked away by Kravchuk. This is Anderson battling his way back in over the line. Offside. Shane Corson was a step ahead.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
There's Kevin Todd, who is jarred back behind the play after the Blues had killed off a big Los Angeles power play.
The story of the LA Kings is trying to get to the front of the net. Kevin Todd was trying to get there. Got hit from behind. I think he got the wind knocked out of him, Paul.
25.3 seconds to go in the first period. O'Donnell gets it up around. Here comes Tardif. Anderson over to watch him. Nordstrom just feathers it up there. And the St. Louis Blues continue to look for answers offensively. And meanwhile, a great effort in that period from the Los Angeles Kings.
And Paul, if you're not going to score, if you're not going to get offensive chances, you've got to keep the game close. And to their benefit, 0-0 is a pretty good score for the St. Louis Blues.
Closed captioning this period provided by Thruway Muffler, where top quality muffler suspension and brake service is fully guaranteed. 0-0 after one. We're going to hear from Wayne Gretzky during our first intermission.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, processed cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Hey, Andy, I just wrote a song.
It's the McDonald's Big Mac song, Fred.
Hey, thanks, Andy. That's a great name for it.
McDonald's Big Mac. It's one of a kind.
You know, have you had your break today?
Hey, that's good, too.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just a minute today, your thighs can look like
2 big mouth-watering patties in a rich
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
toupee in a can. Gets rid of bald spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump roast. Now easier to handle with a roast wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
Out to make a little bit of history. We may be in for some of it tonight. His next goal will be his 500th. Al Lemieux, and there's number 500, Mario Lemieux.
Now, every time Mark Messier steps out on the ice could be an historic moment. He shoots, he scores! Mark Messier, number 500! What a night for Mark Messier!
When you drive your Chrysler vehicle out of the dealership, you quickly discover that it's a cruel world outside. But the best way to protect your investment is to bring it back to your Chrysler dealer for regular maintenance. For advanced computerized diagnostic systems. For genuine Mopar parts. And for Chrysler trained technicians. Chrysler 5-star service keeps your car running like new. Because nobody knows your Chrysler like your Chrysler dealer.
Advantage presents You Make the Call. March 15, 1994. Vancouver Canucks playing the Detroit Red Wings. Mark Howe feeds the puck to Keith Primo, who has Sergei Fedorov to his left. Do they score? You make the call.
The Olympic spirit isn't about victory. It isn't about defeat. It's about challenging yourself. That's why we created the Spirit of Canada Fund. A program dedicated not to victory, not to defeat, but to showing our kids that with a little help, anything is possible.
Mark Howe gets it up to Keith Primo. He goes in, then slides it over to Sergei Fedorov, who puts it past Kirk McLean for the goal. A great play as Fedorov scores his 50th of the season.
Welcome to McDonald's First Intermission, brought to you by your local McDonald's restaurants. Now, here are your hosts, Gord Miller and Bob McKenzie.
Welcome back to our McDonald's First Intermission. Wayne Gretzky is a visitor at the Great Western Forum for the first time since February the 6th, 1988, when he played for the Edmonton Oilers. Ironically enough, 5 of his teammates from that Edmonton team are with him now with the St. Louis Blues. It's kind of Edmonton West, if the Rangers are Edmonton East. And an interesting response for Gretzky. We'll have a talk with him in just a moment.
Kind of a mixed reaction, I thought. Coming out, you heard some cheers, you heard a smattering of boos, and certainly not as one-sided and as a negative as it was at the Pond in Anaheim last night. And
certainly there was a great deal of response to what was said in Anaheim last night. As you mentioned, the fans were very much on Wayne Gretzky's case. And even teammates, or even players for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks said that they didn't appreciate the way it was done. Paul Kariya for one, Teemu Selanne for another, and Mike Keenan, of course, called it an outrage in hockey.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's the one guy who seemed to roll with it the most. He said if it happened to Bobby Orr in Toronto, it could happen to him in Anaheim.
All right, we're delighted to welcome from Los Angeles, Wayne Gretzky, who is back to his former home, I suppose. Wayne, what's your response to the response you received tonight?
Well, it's a mixture of some cheers, obviously, and obviously emotions are high. There's some boos, but that's hockey and that's sports. You know, my time here, the fans were good to me, and I like to think that I worked hard for them. So it was pretty much what I expected tonight, a mixture of everything.
Wayne, we talked about last night. Mike Keenan was upset, Glenn Anderson, Teemu Selanne, Paul Kariya. List goes on and on. You compared it to when Orr goes back to the Gardens. Do you ever remember a night where it was as decidedly negative in your favor, or what?
I've had a few nights like that, but it was pretty loud last night. But you know what happens? It started in the first period kind of slowly and quietly, and you know, Sewanee and Korea put on a little bit of a show, and they got a little bit of a lead. And as they got some momentum, and as they kind of got ahead of us, people are creatures of habit, and everybody kind of jumped on it, and it got louder and louder as the game went on. But you know, as I said, you know, I can remember sitting at Maple Leaf Gardens and Bobby Orr being booed every time he touched the puck, so I don't really consider it too big of a negative that I was being booed last night.
Let's talk a little bit about your new hockey team. Mike Keenan says that you and Brett Hull don't have that synergistic thing going yet. I'm not quite sure what that means, but he had some harsh words for Brett Hull. Has it been a difficult adjustment for you two guys?
Well, it's been a little bit of an adjustment. We've had some opportunities that we haven't capitalized on, but I think that it's been more of an adjustment for me than for Brett. I think that I came from a altogether kind of different system, and you know, it's going to take some time. As I said to Mike when I got here, it's just not going to happen overnight. I need time to mentally prepare myself, physically prepare myself, and then of course with all the extra attention that goes with any kind of a trade, you're trying to accommodate people and make people happy, takes away a little bit. So I've tried to consume my energy and focus more and more on hockey, but it seems like when I think I'm going to get a day off and a little bit of a rest, something else sneaks up on us. So it's been difficult off the ice, but I've really enjoyed the game and I've really enjoyed my teammates, and sooner or later we'll start clicking on instinct and that'll start coming around.
Well, Wayne, leave it to an old Edmonton guy to ask you about all the former Oilers with you in the Blues. If you think back to '88 when you were last a visitor in L.A., McTavish is with you, Anderson's with you, Fuhr's with you. It's another homecoming for you in a way.
Well, looking around the room before the game, it felt like 8 years hadn't passed, and I was sitting with most of those guys in a blue, orange, and white uniform. But you know, Mike is wheeling and dealing, and still got a couple of days left, so we just got to do our job, and we let him do his job.
Wayne, thanks very much. Best of luck.
All right, thank you, guys.
Wayne Gretzky, live from Los Angeles, where tonight he makes his return to the Great Western Forum. We'll be back with more on our McDonald's First Intermission. Highlights are coming up next.
Any way you play it, the whole new line of Plymouth is a whole lot of fun.
Aha! Oh, hi. I'm using this ordinary telescope to take a look at auto repairs. My hunch is we're going to see something kind of interesting here, and look, there it is right now. At some places, you're not allowed to see what's going on with your car. However, at Midas, things are completely different. Look at this. They take you under the car. They let you see just what needs fixing and what can wait. You're in the loop, I tell you. Midas, the way it should be.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of protection for men. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Unlike a stick that can stay in your underarm hair, this is a soft gel. It goes cleanly through the hair right down to the skin surface to fight odor and wetness where it begins. And that means effective all-day protection. A revolutionary form, Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant.
Hey, pocket lovers! Introducing new McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets to set you on your jets. Let's go, pocket lovers! McCain made them just for salami, 2 pepperonis, Canadian bacon, and more in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess.
McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets!
The new taste to set you on your jets.
To make Wendy's Country French chicken sandwich, they put a whole seasoned breast filet, processed Swiss, and Dijon sauce on a country French roll for a delicious taste of France.
Dave, votre nouveau poulet très bon.
Muchas gracias.
Ready for some championship hockey? Canada's best are set to battle to determine the nation's top team. Last year, Quebec dominated and will be looking to repeat in '96. Don't miss the action Sunday live from Moncton. The puck drops here on TSN.
Montreal Canadiens remain perfect in their new home. The Canadiens taking on the Buffalo Sabres tonight, a team that has had Montreal's number in recent years, but Montreal hangs on for a 3-2 win. Buffalo actually blew a 2-0 lead in this hockey game. Let's take you on to the biggest blown lead of the night, San Jose Boston, and Rick Tocchet on a penalty shot against Joff Sargent. He pronounced it Joff Sargent. Hey, no accounting for taste. He stops Rick Tocchet on a penalty shot.
Call him whatever you want. He stopped it, but he doesn't stop this one. Tocchet gets it over to the side of the net, and Tim Sweeney puts it in to give the Bruins a 1-0 lead on Joff Sargent. And now things get a little bit rough. Kyle McLaren mixing it up, and boom, he takes one right on the beak from Owen Nolan. Took a puck in the face last week. A broken nose on that occasion.
Bruins short-handed here. Don Sweeney takes a shot from the point. Joff Sargent with the glove, but drops it. Ron Sutter fights off Doug Bodger, makes it 3-0. Now, Boston short-handed. Yves Racine takes a shot from the point, goes to Jan Shalhoub, who gets his first NHL goal. 3-2 Boston, and then Jeff Odgers pokes this one home. Bruins allow 3 goals in 11 minutes in the third period. They blow a 3-0 lead, and ooh, they could have been tied for 7th place, but they remain in ninth after a 3-3 tie. And one other score to tell you about. Hartford over Tampa Bay 6-3. The Whale remain in the playoff hunt. Hey, Tampa Bay not only lost the game, it's 3rd loss in a row. They lost $5,000 from their dressing room. When it goes bad, it goes real bad. When we come back, we'll talk to Howie Meeker. It's a star-studded crowd in L.A. No score between the Blues and the Kings.
Being one self-styled expressionist, punctuating the ordinary, searching innermost pockets for your ID, detecting the truthfulness necessary to unapologetically say, this is the way I am.
It's true that the curves of Dodge's most advanced cab-forward sedan have caught the eye of driving enthusiasts around the world. But with the addition of independent double wishbone suspension, speed proportional steering, and an available 24-valve 168 horsepower engine, Dodge Stratus drivers have other curves in mind. Dodge Stratus, the latest expression of cab-forward thinking.
Aha! Oh, hi! I'm using this ordinary telescope to take a look at auto repairs. My hunch is we're going to see something kind of interesting here, and look, there it is right now. At some places, you're not allowed to see what's going on with your car. However, at Midas, things are completely different. Look at this. They take you under the car. They let you see just what needs fixing and what can wait. You're in the loop, I tell you. Midas, the way it should be.
The Olympic spirit, to strive, to soar, to face any challenge. It means so much more in real life. That's why we created the Spirit of Canada Fund, to support programs that help develop, train, and show our children that in life, as in sport, anything is possible.
With us now is the man who once upon a time was the NHL's Rookie of the Year, and Howie Meeker likes the way these young Kings break out. Eh, Howie?
I sure do. Hey, what a great period of hockey. The best I've seen all year. Talk about hitting from both sides and fewer great goaltending both ends, but pure outstanding. Okay, folks, St. Louis with the puck, and it's going to go here, and they're going to shoot it in the other end of the ice. Now watch this. You got to know this play. I pick them all the time. The team that does this best, I stop it right here. Look at the hit. There's the hit right there. That's the key. Finish the check.
All right, it's dumped in. Now stop it here. Stop it right there. Hold it. Back it up just a bit. Quick. Back it up. Watch this fella here pick two guys. Pick both these fellas so his partner can go in and field the puck. And this guy after the hit goes right here where he should be. Discipline system. Larry Robinson. There's one pick. Look, there's the other pick. Gives his partner time to get the puck up. Oh, hang on. Look at caught out of play. Now watch Todd. Here's the guy that makes timing. The whole game of hockey, folks, is timing. Watch the timing here. Right onto his stick. Now it's a 2-on-2. Todd with the puck. Suchuk again weaves back and forth. It's timing against the fence. The defenseman has to let go. Now watch the pass in front. Suchuk puts it up off the high post, off the crossbar. Hey, just a great rush, but coming out of your own end, super.
Timing. Howie, thanks very much.
You're welcome, big guy.
McDonald's First Intermission has been brought to you by your local McDonald's restaurants.
That's it.
Well, we are rolling in period number 2. Timing is everything, and Brett Hull almost timed a perfect shot right there. 0-0, the Kings and the Blues. And the teams at even strength to start the period. Here's Gretzky. Hull breaking up the middle. He'll take it. Hull shoots. Rudy right out there to challenge. Big stop.
Great play by Kelly Rudy to come right out offside beyond his crease and meet Brett Hull. Hull had nothing to shoot out at that point. We've got shots here. 13 for the Kings. You can see the Blues were a little behind in that department.
And the Kings 0 for 3 in the power play. Part of that power play was a two-man advantage, but great chance right here.
Good shot by Hull, and Rudy came right out to meet him. Boy, Brett Hull can fire the puck, and their St. Louis Blues are hoping that he'll shoot maybe a little more.
But Brett Hull is wondering, I'm sure at times, what the heck is going on? Why he's missing chances like that, and why, with perhaps the greatest setup man in the history of the game, he can't finish more.
And it's going to come. We heard Wayne Gretzky between periods, Paul, talk about time's going to take some time.
Here's Corson. Gets it across Anderson. Knights that puck in front of the net. Corson was looking for it, but back come the Kings. Yashmanev ricochets it up off the boards. Corson. Puck just rolling around. Saplakov looking for it. Hudson clears it up there for St. Louis. We are early in the second period, 0-0. The Blues and the Kings. Here's Leach. Finn gets it up around the boards. Kristich taps it. Had Yashmanev up there with him, but Barron over to choke things off for St. Louis. McTavish is working down the right wing, but they couldn't get it to him. Leach pokes it ahead. Leach into the corner. He's knocked down. Barron comes up after it. Here's Barron. Cuts in front. Backhand shot. Rudy stopped that one. Potomski checked off the puck. Here comes Leach. Big chance. Big stop. Leach centers it in front. Bounced off his skate, and Rudy will hang on to it.
Well, Kelly Rudy just stones Leach. But I got to tell you, that wasn't what happened. Both defense for the LA Kings change, and that allows Steve Leach to get the breakaway. A very poor change, very poor discipline by the LA Kings. Look at how much room Leach has got. That's because both defensemen were sitting on the bench. Great save by Kelly Rudy.
And then Leach followed it up, going around back of the net. He almost bounced it in off of the skate of Doug Smolik. 17:54 to go in the second period. 0-0. Chris Pronger just pokes it up there. Pearson had to get away from him.
Paul, how he talked in between periods about timing, and that was a rookie mistake by the LA Kings.
Puck in front there. Perreault with a great chance, and Fuhr knocked that away. Pass up ahead to Zezel. Couldn't wheel it in. Full pack. Brings that puck around. Zezel there waiting for it. Zezel taps it ahead. Rudy just bouncing that one. Pearson looking for it. Nathan Lafayette was tying him up. Twist. Flips it in there. Pearson has lost his stick. And he'll just head back to the Blues bench. Jan Vopak. Pass up ahead. Perreault clears it in.
This way, this way.
Here's McInnes. Quickly up to Creighton. Gretzky steps in. Here's Gretzky. Hull going for the net. Creighton's up there too. Puck bounces out. McInnes shoots. And Barron will hustle over to pick it up. Here's Creighton up ahead. Hull trying to get loose. Hull cuts in front. Rudy stops it. Gretzky trying to get it on goal. And the Kings holding the fort. Creighton couldn't get it in front. He had his pocket picked. Trying to get it back. Hull's up there as well. But Yannick Perreault clears it out.
Good job by Gary Shuchuk to nail Wayne Gretzky as he was standing in front of the net and almost got the rebound off the Hull.
Shuchuk moves it up. Todd clears that puck to the corner. Lacroix trying to get loose. He was bumped. Boucher clears it up. Shuchuk centers it in front. Lacroix was going for it, but picked off, and the puck cleared down the ice. And this will be an icing call against the St. Louis Blues. Still no score. Kelly, Rudy, a couple of sparkling stops here in the second.
The Olympic spirit isn't about victory. It isn't about defeat. It's about challenging yourself. That's why we created the Spirit of Canada Fund, a program dedicated not to victory, not to defeat, but to showing our kids that with a little help, anything is possible.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just minutes today, your thighs can look like
2 big mouth-watering patties in a rich
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
Toupee in a can. Gets rid of bald spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump roast. Now easier to handle with a roast wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
Well, the chance is coming for the Blues, but they're not finishing yet.
Brett Hull with another good chance. Good move. And he'll take this puck directly to the net. Watch Gretzky there. That was Shuchuk that knocked him down. Otherwise, he puts that top corner over top of Kelly Rudy.
And he would have done it on the backhand. A man with one of the best backhands in hockey.
The reason being he's got the straight stick, Paul. Most of the other players in the league have got a good heel-to-toe curve. Gretzky with a lot straighter stick than most in the National Hockey League.
Did you have the big hook on your stick?
Yeah, early when I was scoring goals, I did. Near the end of my career, I went to the straight stick because they wanted me to win face-offs. It's always nice to have a straight stick.
Here's Pronger. The Kravchuk. Pressured up there. Good work by Ferrero. Got it out. Shot fired on goal by John Druce. But good work by Ray Ferrero to set Druce up for that chance.
And Ferraro will be the setup, man. He's got to create a lot of offense here for the LA Kings. See Mike Keenan nod. He's a little bit upset with a chance here on Grant Fuhr. Good pass by Ferraro. John Druce, excellent quick release. And boy, Grant Fuhr has been as good as Kelly Rudy. Seeing some good goaltending here in the first part of the second period. There's some of the teaching, Paul, that we've been talking about. Larry Robinson is committed to teaching this team. You can see him telling John Druce what he wants on the offense. You can teach to score guys to score 30 goals. Maybe you can't teach a 50-goal scorer.
I think this is a much better situation for Larry Robinson and Rick Green. Having a team that they can mold and shape rather than a team that was basically inherited.
That's a good point. You and I talked to Rick Green about the one-on-one situation where he prefers his team to play in a zone. But apparently this young team now is very teachable, and those are two good coaches to do it.
Here's McTavish shoveling it up ahead there for the Blues. Leach up in quest of that puck as well. Smolik takes the bump but gets the puck around. Here's Barron. Leach after it. McTavish up there with him. This is Leach with the puck. Down for McTavish. Out of the traffic. Back out for McInnes. Rolling around on him. Leach chops at it. Here's Smolik. And the Blues sneak in a change. Doug Smolik coming up. Ahead to Vopak. To Kristich. This is Adam Creighton. To Hull. He'll just dump it in. Gretzky up there forechecking. Smolik with it. Here's Hull. Trying to take that puck loose. Hull to Creighton. Gretzky up there as well. Creighton with that great reach and size, trying to work it loose in the corner against Kristich. And not much room to move. They will scissor it up along the boards. 13:39 to go in the second period. 0-0 hockey game. We've all been waiting for Brett Hull to really start finishing, playing on the same line as Wayne Gretzky.
There's no doubt they'll start clicking, but you hear Paul in the papers talking about not being able to put it all together as of yet. And a lot of it, I think, Paul, is to do with the synergy that Mike Keenan feels isn't quite there yet. Gretzky talking to us about, you know, it's not clicking yet, and Hull has had a little bit of a lack of confidence in his goal-scoring abilities, and certainly that'll come back.
Puck bouncing up in front. Hull was looking for it there, but the Kings break back out. Tardif in over the blue line. Tardif with Ferrero up there with him, and Drews. Here's Matteau for St. Louis. Tardif looks around. Drews going to the front of the net. Ferrero's up there too. Kravchuk wheeling around down in the corner for the Blues, trying to get it loose. Ferrero knocks it down. And Gretzky will get it across, and the Blues come back. This is Hull up to Gretzky. Got it back across. Gretzky shoots, scores!
Well, the LA Kings are, sorry, Paul, the LA Kings are really upset because Hull went to the front of the net.
Well, they're going to say that Rudy was interfered with. And let's see what Bill McCreary decides here. Gretzky took the shot, but tremendous interference down in front of Rudy.
The key here will be McCreary is saying to us by his action that Hull went to the front of the net, but was pushed into Rudy, and that allowed Gretzky to put the puck on net. See Gretzky right here. There's Hull going to the front of the net. Watch him continue. He's tripped up by Sean O'Donnell, and he just continues right into Rudy. Gretzky with his head up. The puck will come back to him right here, and he lays it on the ice as Sean O'Donnell had moved Hull, actually tripped up Hull and went after Rudy. That's a good call by McCreary.
And nothing that Hull can do about that. Anderson right back in off the faceoff, and Rudy out to grab it. And Rudy took a little tap on the way by, and he is right over to talk to the referee. Kelly Rudy is peaked. Wayne Gretzky, a little happier than Rudy right now.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just a minute today, your thighs can look like
2 big mouth-watering patties in a rich,
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
Toupee in a can. Gets rid of bald spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump roast. Now easier to handle with a roast wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
The good old boys are ready for a NASCAR tailgate party in Darlington, South Carolina. The Trans-South Financial 400. NASCAR on track Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Hey.
Baseball is loved by an entire nation.
Sure. What a day. Let's get going. Come on. Yes.
Closed captioning this period provided by Thruway Muffler, where top quality muffler, suspension, and brake service is fully guaranteed. They hook up on the first St. Louis goal of the hockey game. Gretzky gets the goal. Hull picks up an assist, as well as Adam Creighton.
Mike Keenan's been talking about Brett Hull. The least that he can do if he's not going to score is to work hard, and Hull did a good job of working hard to get to the front of the net. You know that the goal-scoring touch is going to come when you're playing with that gentleman right there.
Now this is Anderson leaping down into the corner for St. Louis. Trying to step out of the way there. Twist. Twist and Anderson. Finn working away for the Kings, trying to get that puck away. Boucher fires it up around. Corson squeezed by Perreault. This is Barron. Potomski goes after it. McInnes will get there first. Puck picked up. Lafayette shoots. Fired it across in front. He had Potomski crisscrossing back through the slot. Pass was behind Anderson there. Potomski up ahead. Lafayette shoots. He'll pick up his own rebound. Nathan Lafayette trying to get it in front. McInnes tapped it away from him. Lafayette gives chase along the boards. That was Barron who took the hit. Lopat clears it up ahead. Sweeping in over the line. Todd dropped it back. Smolik scores! Doug Smolik with a rocket, and the Kings tie it up.
Now we've got controversy at the other end of the ice because Gary Shuchuk was right in front of Grant Fuhr, and Grant Fuhr didn't like it. Watch the drop pass here. Good shot by Smolchek. But that's Shuchuk right on top of the crease. Here's a better look at it. And Fuhr doesn't like this. Good shot, good movement, but Shuchuk was not in the crease, and that was the key.
Shuchuk was right in front, and on the replay did not look as though it hit his stick. That one going in cleanly off the stick of Doug Smolik. That's only his second goal of the year. Todd and Vopat will pick up assists. And we are all tied up. Here's Gretzky up in the corner. Gretzky centers it in front. Rudy knocked that away. Pronger ricochets it up off the boards. Gretzky had it choked off on the way in there by O'Donnell, who gets it up. And here come the Kings. John Drews in over the blue line. Dropped it back there. Ferrero back up for Drews. Puck loose at the side, chopping away at it there. Tardif had a chance. That hit the side of the net. Drews comes away with it. John Drews. And this is Hull coming back. Up there with Gretzky. And Hull was offside in the right wing.
When Wayne Gretzky has the puck, Brett Hull needs to come from behind and not be ahead of the play. We've had good goaltending both ends of the ice. Kelly Rudy doing an excellent job stepping up. And here's Grant Fuhr. He's had 2 or 3 good chances since the goal against him. Right there, a good shot by Patrice Tardif. Tardif's a big boy, 202 pounds. He plays aggressive and had a good shot on Fuhr at that point.
So the Kings trying to snap out of a 3-game losing streak. And maybe a challenge against their former leader, Wayne Gretzky, just the tonic to lead them back because they've looked solid. Here they come. Kristich going for the net. And that's just fired wide. Zaplakov was up there with Kristich and elected to try to shoot. Barron gets it up. Matteau He's steering it down into the corner. Stefan Matteau up there after it, bumping his man. Leach up there as well for the Blues. Here's Kristich. And the puck just lofted in. Stephen Finn just fires it up there. Siplakov looking to get it in front. Yachmanev was up there. This is Matteau for St. Louis. Here's Smolik. And Grant Fuhr just tees it up. Olsen. This is Vopat for Los Angeles. He'll clear it in.
See this, the St. Louis defenseman getting up ice. You see a good check there. Sometimes, sorry, Paul, sometimes you're going to get caught up. We got a penalty in this play.
Well, Potomski was throwing his weight around up there. And Vopat right in the heat of things as well. This one getting nasty, and a penalty coming up. It's going to go against the St. Louis Blues. So opportunity knocking here for the Kings in the form of a power play.
It looks like Dallas Eakins is off. He didn't play the last game against Anaheim, and Eakins was injected into the lineup. Again, a St. Louis defenseman up into the neutral ice. Could be very effective, but Mike Keenan's got to be concerned about the outnumbered situations. See Eakins here. There's a cross check.
And that is in fact what Eakins just called for, is cross checking. He was going after Potomski, who just before that had a solid hit up in back of the St. Louis net.
So there's some real big boys in the game, and Barry Potomski's one of them. 215 pounds, 6'2". But when you look at the other side, Big Tony Twist has got to be the biggest, one of the biggest in the league. What's he, around 230, somewhere there?
220 pounds he's listed at, 6'1". But he's very mobile for a big man.
Yes, he is. I mean, you see him before the game, he looks bigger than that, doesn't he? Down in the dressing room.
Hey, I'm 5'8", everybody looks big to me.
I'm 6 foot, but he looked huge.
Nordstrom moves it across. Kings in the power play. Philippe Boucher gets it up ahead. Lafayette looking for some room. Gets it down in front. Fuhr knocked that away. Nathan Lafayette has been flying around out there here in this second period. Good young acquisition for this Los Angeles team from the New York Rangers.
Yes, he is. And Lafayette had a good season with the Vancouver Canucks before going to the Rangers. He'll be very effective if he uses his speed. As you mentioned, he's been using it here in the second period.
Yannick Perrault trying to work the give and go. Puck comes back to Nordstrom. Down to Perrault. Back to Nordstrom. 1:04 to go on the power play. And Kravchuk will start back. He comes up there. Kravchuk still with it. Looks around. Finally, nice one in on goal. And a nice stop by Rudy. On the back of a good effort from Igor Kravchuk. 45 seconds left in the power play. Puck just shoveled in there. Siplakov up after it. Kings with the man advantage. Siplakov worked over by Barrett. Puck comes loose. Barrett drives it up around.
It's interesting when you think of the acquisition of Craig McTavish. He's a penalty-killing expert. Mike Keenan tends to go to the offensive guys, doesn't he?
Very aggressive penalty killing. And that's a real feature of the league that you didn't see 10, 15 years ago.
One of the reasons I think that's happening is because you've got very structured commercial breaks. And you've got the 7 times 1 minute breaks. And that allows a team, a coach especially, to play 2 lines.
Puck driven in front of the net. Siplakov driving up there. Kristich going after it. Centers it in front. Tardif's down there. Kings buzzing all around Grant Fuhr, but they couldn't finish off. Penalized player is back on. The teams are at even strength. LA is 0 for 4 on the power play in this game. Here comes Kravchuk. He's got some room. Trying to shake loose. Tardif back there to pick it up. Pronger up to the line. That was Hudson who was spun around. But the Kings come back. Potomski. Tardif goes after it. He's got it now. Tardif shoots. Fuhrer kicked that away. Pronger bangs it up around the boards, and Hudson will help it out. 6:10 to go in the period. John Drews up there, number 19 for the Kings, checking. Drews trying to pick it up along the boards. Leach clears it up ahead. Here comes Hudson to Gretzky. Gretzky, look at him, get some room. He shoots and hit Drews in the way in. What a great move by Gretzky to get loose. He's up there again looking for it. Hull's up there. And the puck finally just cleared down the ice. Icing called in the Kings. John Drews with a nice save after Wayne Gretzky had created a great chance.
Being oneself, styled expressionist, punctuating the ordinary, searching innermost pockets for your ID, detecting the truthfulness necessary to unapologetically say, this is the way I am.
Wayne Gretzky, here's where Wayne Gretzky's the best, and watch the little move right here up top on the blue line. This shot hits John Drews, and Drews was limping after that. But Gretzky's so good at that inside-out move. Around the game, you'd call that great hands.
LA Kings actually under 500 during the Wayne Gretzky era. And when you compare the numbers of the Kings with Gretzky and the Kings without him, they're pretty even.
Many people would say that the supporting cast maybe wasn't what it should have been. I'm not sure Wayne Gretzky would say that. He's a pretty humble guy. But I think that's a fact.
Puck knocked out there. Hull was looking for it. And look at this. Shuchuk picks it up. Almost got loose. Shuchuk had a great chance back in the first period and almost seized the opportunity there. Shuchuk digging after that puck. It comes loose. Lacroix breaking up for the goal, looking for that rebound, but cleared away by Barron. And Gretzky will just bounce it out. Here comes Hull, shoots. Gretzky down to Hull. Centered it in front, Matteau scores! Stefan Matteau with a weak shot from in front. And it's 2-1 for the Blues.
Well, that's only the 10th goal for Stefan Matteau. The pass comes from Gretzky to Hull, who just puts it out. And that hits the post and in. Matteau with a quick release. There's the pass from Gretzky to Hull. Right there, Matteau in the backside in the slot, and he just puts it on net. You can see Kelly Rudy's a little bit upset at allowing that soft shot to go through. But in fairness to him, it was a good release by Matteau.
15-10 the time of the goal. Matteau gets it. And Gretzky and Hull pick up the assists. Second time tonight that Gretzky and Hull have been involved in a St. Louis goal, and guess what? It's 2-1 for the Blues.
Hey, how's your day shaping up? Is it a round day with lots of the usual stuff, like a billion or so other people? Or is it a flat day where you're paying for the goodies one at a time? Or maybe you're going for the truly creative, harmonious form of a Mr. Sub. Fresh baked buns, incredible tastes, and toppings that are actually free. A very face-friendly configuration. Hey, we're not out for world domination. We just like to change the shape of things to come. So have a nicely shaped day.
Well, another milestone for Wayne Gretzky, albeit a minor one when you're talking about a man who holds his share of 61 NHL records. His 2,600th point. And he picks it up on an assist on Stefan Matteau's goal.
I had the great job when I was in Washington early in my career of following Wayne Gretzky around the ice, hopefully so that he wouldn't get the puck. It happened, it worked well for 2 periods, and then I ran into a guy by the name of Dave Semenko. And he didn't allow me to follow Wayne around anymore. Then Edmonton Oilers ended up winning the game. But Larry Robinson at this point is going to have to keep the puck away from Gretzky. Either that or tie up both his wingers. That time they did not tie up Mateau as Mateau got the goal.
Well, I think in fairness to Kelly Rudy, it's one he'd love to have back, Ryan.
Soft shot, but a quick release.
Corson going after it. Puck tapped by Kristich. It just comes out. Kravchuk there to pick it up. Under 5 minutes to go in the second period. The Blues leading the Kings 2-1. Wayne Gretzky's return to Los Angeles with his new team, the St. Louis Blues. And Gretzky holding up his part. The big game players come up with the big situations, and he has 2 points tonight, and on both St. Louis goals, a goal and an assist. Here's Corson, centers it out in front. Nobody home for the Blues. Zaplakov starting back. Zaplakov up ahead to Kristich. Crisscrossing at the line. Yachmanev up there as well. Here's Yachmanev looking for it. Adam Creighton taps it to Pronger, and he will bounce it out. Here's Pronger. Kings hurrying in a line change. Kelly Rudy to Finn. And Drews will start back. Drews coming up there. Tardif is with him. Ferrero's up there too. Drews trying to fire that one in on goal. Here's Ferrero in the corner. He can't come up with it. McTavish there along the boards for the Blues. Up to Leach. McInnes. Long shot. Rudy steers that one up over the glass and out of play.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Al McInnes needs one more point for 900 in his NHL career. Pardon me, he picked it up last time that we saw him. He picked up his 900th point in his 900 games.
And Al McInnes, when you think of Al McInnes, you think of the big shot. And he's the guy that needs lots of shots, always normally leads his team with shots. But he has some competition with Brett Hull on this St. Louis Blue team.
But how's that? 900 points in 900 games. Talk about consistent.
You talk about a defenseman with the great shot of McInnes. I think most defensemen, especially in this last little error here of playing defensively responsible, and then if you get the odd point, great. Things have sure changed.
Puck up for Ferrero and bounces ahead of him. Tardif and Ferrero both whirling around, but Hull comes away with it. Up for Gretzky. He taps it away from Finn. Here comes Gretzky up there with Mateau. Pronger flips it up. Billy Couchet. Outside the line, fired back in by Kravchuk. And offside. Mateau was in well offside. Doubleheader night here on TSN. Montreal beat Buffalo in the first half of our doubleheader. Good one going here, and be sure to join us 1 week from tonight. Wendell Clark and the Toronto Maple Leafs into Calgary to face Gary Roberts and the Flames. That's 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time.
Why does that feel so natural to say Wendell? Listen to you, Paul, say Wendell Clark and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
In some ways, like he never left.
Very true.
All over the papers. He looked great in his first game back with the Leafs. Although I think probably naive thinking if you believe that Wendell's going to be the one piece of the puzzle to lead the Leafs to the Stanley Cup. He certainly could be a big piece of it.
An emotional factor there that'll help.
NHL trade deadline approaching. Rumors all over the place. We've heard Bob McKenzie talking about them tonight with Gord Miller. Here's Potomski. Trying to work it in front, and hello, Lafayette was dumped there as he was looking for that puck. Zezel feathered it up ahead. That's knocked back. Here's Barrett. Pearson flips it down in the corner. He'll go hard up there after. O'Donnell gets there. He's bumped by Pearson. Puck across in front. Zezel couldn't line it up. Potomski clearing it in there for the Kings. Lafayette after it, puck in front. Potomski after it. It's knocked to the corner. Here's Potomski, delayed penalty coming up. Puck fired up there by Smolik, and play is called. A penalty coming up against the St. Louis Blues. Good chance there for the Kings. And it was Barry Potomski up front and center, working well with Nathan Lafayette.
This line, the fourth line of the St. Louis Blues, doesn't get a whole lot of action. See the penalty happening right in front of the net here. Yannick Perreault's hauled down by Al McInnes and ends up getting hit with the point shot. Mike Keenan, you can see the look on his face right there as we see Barron go off.
The St. Louis Blues average age is over 30 years. And the type of style Mike Keenan likes to play, Ryan, he likes to play a go-go, high-tempo offensive style. Can he do it with this team?
Well, that's certainly a question that's being talked about around the Blues. I asked Roger Nielsen, the assistant or co-coach for the St. Louis Blues, about that, and he said not a problem. The older players like a high tempo. We're going to give it to them.
But can they do it for 60 minutes, and can they do it through the grind that is the Stanley Cup playoffs? 2 months of that.
And maybe the supplemental question, Paul, is when you play 2.5 lines on top of that, will that be a factor?
Puck comes back. Boucher tried to wire that one up there. Kings in the power play. 1:30 to go in the Los Angeles man advantage. Here's Gretzky. That's knocked down. Good read there, and it's picked up by Todd, who drives up. Here's Todd in front. Bopat drilled it. That's kicked away. Big shot by Bopat, and a bigger save by Fuhr. Gretzky up to Pronger. Here comes Hull, shorthanded to Kravchuk. Kristich. Less than a minute to go in the period. 1 minute to go in the power play for the Kings. Boucher slides it up there. Saplakov has that puck for Los Angeles. Down to the corner for Todd. Looking in front. Kristich. Down to Todd. Gets it out. Boucher shoots. 18 seconds left in the period, and the puck cleared out.
Good shot on net by Boucher. We have seen a very sharp Grant Fuhr here through 2 periods.
Lots of energy. He's only played in 70 games this year. No reason for him to be tired. That'll do it for a couple of periods. The power play will carry over to start the third period. For the first 23 seconds, LA will be on the man advantage. But through 2, we've got a good one. The Blues are up by a score of 2-1.
Welcome to McDonald's Second Intermission, brought to you by your local McDonald's restaurants. Now, here are your hosts, Gord Miller and Bob McKenzie.
What do we say in the first intermission? Timing is everything. Wayne Gretzky comes back to Los Angeles, gets his 2,600th point. When he went back to Edmonton for the first time, he broke Gordie Howe's all-time points record.
You can say whatever you want about Wayne Gretzky, but the man has style. He knows how to do it up. A goal and 1 assist in a 2-1 lead. 2,600th career point, and it's also assist number 1766. And why is that important? Well, it brings him within 84 points of a goal of his, which is to have as many career assists as Gordie Howe does points. Gordie Howe is 1,850 points, so I would take a guess that sometime next season, Wayne Gretzky will have as many career assists in the National Hockey League as Gordie Howe did points.
4 times in his career, Gretzky's assists alone would have won him the scoring title. And Wayne Gretzky comes up with a big goal. Well, there was some controversy about Brett Hull, but Hull was able to get out of the way. Gretzky has given the Blues a 2-1 lead. All the scores and highlights from tonight's action coming up in our McDonald's intermission.
Two all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, processed cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Hey, Andy, I just wrote a song.
It's the McDonald's Big Mac song, Fred.
Hey, thanks, Andy. That's a great name for it.
McDonald's Big Mac. It's one of a kind.
You know, have you had your break today?
Hey, that's good, too.
Hey, I'm one full-size adult, so naturally, I'm big on nutrition. And there's something inside of me that still gets really pumped about frosting. But who's kidding who? This body's a shrine. And we limit the fat and salt in the shrine. Lighten up.
Relax. With Kellogg's Mini Wheat Cereal, you can have it both ways. For the adult in you, whole grain wheat, low in fat and no added salt. For the kid in you, lightly frosted, great taste.
Hey, I'm no dumbbell. I know what I like. The frosting.
This is the 96 Honda Accord EX. This is you. The question is how to get you into here with as little of this as possible. The answer is here. Because right now you can lease a fully equipped Accord EX with air and automatic for just $298 a month. But hurry, because this is a limited time offer. And after that, you'll be out of this. Go see your Honda dealer.
We're in San Jose, and this is Be a Player, the hockey show. Craig Simpson is going to catch up with Owen Nolan.
I know there's a lot of young guys here and a lot of guys who are going to look up to me. I mean, I'm still young myself, but I mean, this is my 6th season. I've seen a lot, but I'm still learning as well. So with what I know, I'm going to try and help other guys and still learn in the process.
Welcome back to our TSN Control Center. I'm Gord Miller with Bob McKenzie. Lots of doings in the Eastern Conference tonight and a couple of games that had a lot of impact on the standings and the playoff races. First of all, let's take you to Montreal, where Lyle Odeline did not get suspended for headbutting someone. That's a nice break. Sabres open the scoring. Matthew Barnaby from behind the net bangs away at it and beats Jocelyn Thibault, his 13th, 1-0 Buffalo.
And the Sabres get on the board again, make it 2-0. Odeline gives the puck away to Pat LaFontaine. Not a good idea. Out to Jason Daw in front of the net. 2-0, Daw's 17th of the season.
And Mario Tremblay calls timeout to gently coax his troops into playing a little better.
And his team does respond. Some nice passing there. Chris Murray to Turner Stevenson. Drops it to Brisebois, and Brisebois beats the Dominator, his 8th of the year.
That's Andrei Kovalenko late in the first period. Gets the pass from Mark Recchi and somehow beats Dominik Hasek. His 25th ties the game at 2.
Good year for Kovalenko. You said 25 on the year, and a nice job by Recchi to get that puck past the Buffalo defenders, and from a very steep angle, manages to bank it in off the Dominator's arm.
In the second, again, it's Kovalenko grabs the puck from Saku Koivu behind the net, and the wraparound beats Dominik Hasek. 3-2 Montreal leads, and the Canadians hang on from there. Hey, give credit to Mario Tremblay. Well-called timeout. It was 2-0 Buffalo at that point. Canadians come back with 3 unanswered and move into 5th place in the Eastern Conference ahead of the New Jersey Devils. On now to Boston and San Jose. And the most exciting play in hockey, it's Rick talking against Geoff Sargent. He pronounces it Geoff Sargent. We pronounce this as a save.
And that wasn't all that exciting, actually. No, Big Geoff comes up with a save, and Geoff doesn't make the save on this one. Talking over to Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney puts it by the outstretched glove of Geoff Sargent.
I don't know. Things get a bit rough now. Kyle McLaren and Owen Nolan mix it up, and Owen Nolan, boom, right there, gets Kyle McLaren, who had to leave the game with a broken nose. How's your first year in the NHL going?
Now 2-0 Boston. Bruins shorthanded.
Whoops.
Sweeney takes the shot from the point. Sargent gloves it, but drops it. Suter fights off Doug Bodger and gets it in for a shorthanded goal. 3-0.
It was 3-1 Bruins. The Bruins shorthanded. Everseen takes the shot, goes to Jan Shalhoun, spelled Calhoun, pronounced Shalhoun. Having a hard time. 3-2 Boston. And then with the score, a 1-goal lead for Boston. Jeff Odgers banks it in. Hey, Jeff, how do you pronounce your name? Jeff. They tie it up at 3. It's a tie that seems like a loss for the Boston Bruins, though. A costly one. They could have moved into a tie for 7th place in the Eastern Conference, but Boston does not, giving up a point to San Jose. Tampa Bay went to Hartford and got smoked 6-3. Jeff Brown with a goal and 3 assists in this game. Tampa Bay not only lost its 3rd game in a row, but had about $5,000 stolen from the dressing room. Never leave money around at a mall. That's the lesson for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here are the standings now in the Eastern Conference, reflecting tonight's action. Montreal moves a point ahead of New Jersey, and Boston could have moved into the tie there, but does not.
Terry Crisp, better get it going there, or we might be looking for some television work, and the competition this year is very stiff.
When we come back, we'll talk to Howie Meeker at our McDonald's second intermission.
McCain changed potatoes into crispy bite-sized taters.
New McCain tasty taters.
Bite-sized taters, crispy and golden brown on the outside. Crispy so they lock in all that tender potato flavor you love.
You'll love
soft or crispy flavor in our bite-sized taters.
New McCain Tasty Taters in crispy bite-sized tater flavors. Cheese, regular, or Cajun.
Can't beat the flavor in our bite-sized taters.
New McCain Tasty Taters, crispy flavor in a bite-sized tater.
You've invested considerable time, effort, and money, but still your grass isn't as healthy and green as you'd expected. It's time to call Nutrilon, ecology-friendly lawn care for grass as healthy and green as you've ever seen. Call Nutrilon today. Check the white pages for the dealer nearest you.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just minutes a day, your thighs can look like
2 big mouth-watering patties in a rich,
Hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
Toupee in a can. Gets rid of bald spots. In fact, it looks just like
Fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump roast. Now easier to handle with a roast wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
Get set for more end-to-end excitement. An all-star field is primed to sweep you away at the Ford World Curling Championships in Hamilton. Coverage begins Saturday on the home of rock and roll, TSN.
Welcome back to our McDonald's second intermission with Howie Meeker. Now, Howie, you know, I studiously watch these segments, but I don't understand something. How has a game between St. Louis and L.A. got a message for the Vancouver Canucks?
I've been watching them lately. They haven't touched anybody in front of the net for a month. They're big defensemen. Guys, watch this, do this, you win. Don't do it, you lose. All kinds of pressure. Hey, I got to say something first. Maury Jackson for months has been promising one of these John Madden machines. Look, you just wet your finger and draw a line. No more dirty old pencil. I finally had to make it in Los Angeles. Okay, let it roll. Now the puck goes back and to McKenna. Stop it right there. Now, timing, folks. The opening is going to be here, and that's where the puck's going to go. But watch Hull. Hull knows right at this point where that puck is going to go, and he's going to go and follow it and pick it up. Now, watch the great pass. The pass is to Creighton. Creighton just leaves it there. Just a short little pass, and Hull picks it up. Now, watch this, folks. Hody, ho, ho, ho. Oops, now you see him, now you don't. So that's it. Back it up. Back it up. Show you that move again. Okay, let her go. Some move. Right around the defenseman, like a hoop around a barrel. Now, Rudy makes a great save. Now, the reason I showed you this, stop it right there. Now, look, there's 3, okay, St. Louis players. Gretzky's one of them. Watch what happens. Hull up in his fanny. How's he going to put it in? Gretzky's down in his fanny. How's he going to put it in? Stop it right here. Look, they're outnumbered 3-2. A LA player, defenseman, comes up with a puck and pumps it in the middle. It's hard to score a goal, folks, when you're sitting on your backside. Look, down they go. Only way to clean house in front of the net. You play like that, you got to win. Larry Robinson again. Keep knocking them down, guys. You'll win.
Howie Meeker, thanks very much, and congratulations on your new piece of equipment.
I'm going to take it home with me.
Wherever the fun is, that's where you'll find JVC. JVC.
Y'all ready for this?
Get ready for Jock Jams, the hottest crowd pumping sports jams ever.
Come, baby, come. You're unbelievable.
Unbelievably hot songs guaranteed to make you sweat. Pump up the volume on Jock Jams. Get out of your seat and into the jam. Don't miss the greatest crowd-pumping hits ever from TSN, Tommy Boy, and Quality. Get Jock Jams and Jock Rock Volumes 1 and 2 in stores now.
It's as old as the wheel.
Man seeks rental cars that are not only nice, but of course nearby. That's why Thrifty made them so handy. With car rentals right at the airport or right in the neighborhood.
And remember, each time you rent from Thrifty Car Rental, you'll earn 500 Canadian Plus points.
Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
In 1996, the Canadian Red Cross marks 100 years of humanitarian service. Over these years, countless volunteers have helped save lives and brought relief to the suffering and the vulnerable. As we enter a new century, our need for the Red Cross is greater than ever. So please, Canada, let's give generously.
Canada and the Red Cross, friends for life.
News from around the NHL tonight. Thomas Sandstrom, 35-goal man for Pittsburgh, out 4 to 6 weeks with a separated shoulder. The trade deadline is less than 2 days away. How does this affect Pittsburgh?
It puts their plans up in the air in a big way because one of the things the Pittsburgh Penguins wanted to do was to trade 19-goal scorer Marcus Naslund, one of their lesser light players, to the Edmonton Oilers for a tough defenseman, Brian Marchment. If they had to settle for Jeff Norton, who's not tough but is offensively inclined, they would take him too. But Naslund would be the key. Now, with Sandstrom out of the lineup for 4 to 6 weeks, can you afford to give up Marcus Naslund? That's a tough decision that General Manager Craig Patrick's going to have to make. Does he need help more up front with the absence of Sandstrom, or does he need the help on the blue line? I say the blue line.
All right, when we come back, the third period of what's been a great hockey game between Los Angeles and St. Louis. It's coming up in just a moment.
McDonald's Second Intermission has been brought to you by your local McDonald's restaurants.
Saturday's project day.
My day to get things done. Canadian Tire always has what I need to get the job done. Right?
Right. I find things easier there.
Than in my own garage.
It's not just a store.
It's my store with my brands. My dad always said, if you're going to do something, do it right. And then he went right to Canadian Tire.
My store has always had everyday low prices. That's good.
Everyday low prices on my favorite brands. That's better.
Canadian Tire. Everyday low prices made better.
Hot Mazda trucks. Mazda B3000 SE.
I got a passion.
A special edition model loaded with extras on a truck that loves hard work.
Passion for the road.
Mazda B3000 SE special edition model at one great price. Mazda.
I got a passion for the road.
Here's to McCain from the tiny and the small. For McCain Junior Juice is the best taste of all. McCain Junior Juice from Superb Concentrate is just enough juice and deliciously great. So let's have a junior and drink from the box. Uh-oh, time to split. Here comes the fox.
McCain Junior Juice, the just enough size.
Enjoy TSN Extreme Excitement from coast to coast this year. In the West, be on the lookout for high body temperatures in prime time Wednesday nights. In Central Canada, watch for intermittent periods of intense physical activity. And in the East, a local wacko warning is in effect Thursdays and Sundays. TSN Extreme, adventure, competition, and pushing the envelope. See it here on TSN.
As we get set for the start of the third period at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, the Blues enjoying a 2-1 lead over the LA Kings. Wayne Gretzky with his 20th goal of the year. How does he do it? It comes at 7 minutes, and then Gretzky gets his 2600th, or pardon me, LA scored. Tubbs Mullet, pardon me, gets his second to tie it at 1, and then Gretzky gets his 2600th career point. Assisting on the goal by Stefan Matteau at 15-10, giving St. Louis the 2-1 lead and enjoys now. The Kings will have outshot the Blues 24-19, but have not yet scored on the power play. They could probably use a guy like Gretzky with the man advantage. For the third, Paul and Rock.
That might help, having Wayne Gretzky out there in the power play. Somebody to work it around, a guy with a lot of experience in specialty teams. LA Kings lack that element, experience. A very young team, especially after getting rid of Wayne Gretzky, Yari Curry, Marty McSorley, some of the veterans.
They've coined a phrase here, Paul, in LA. It's the Fogs, the friends of Gretzky. And most of them, if not all of them, are gone. And many of them have gone to Mike Keenan's team as he looks on a bunch of ex-Oilers that he hopes will carry him through the first, second, third, into the fourth round of the playoffs.
St. Louis Blues 22-2-6 when leading after a couple of periods. Kings have come from behind in the third period only twice this year. They're 2-27-4 when they trail after a pair.
Sounds like you've got that third period figured out.
Yeah, problem is they still have to play it.
Yeah, that's right.
Nordstrom. That puck up at center. 6 seconds to go in the Los Angeles power play here in this third period. And the puck skips by Sean O'Donnell, so that will about do it. Gretzky up there shorthanded. 2,600 points and counting in his amazing career. A couple of points tonight, a goal and an assist. John Drews up into the corner for LA. He's given a bump. Drews. Now Pronger with it. He'll hurry it up around to Hull. Out to Matteau. Up ahead, Gretzky steps in, leaves it there for Hull, and Hull had trouble coming in over the blue line, lost his balance there. Nordstrom. Up ahead, puck comes across, Tardif in on goal. Great stop by Fuhrer as he poked it away from Patrice Tardif, and a penalty coming up. It is going to go against the St. Louis Blues, but Patrice Tardif with a great chance to walk in. Murray Barron will head to the box.
Tardif with the good speed, and Patrice Tardif gets the Johnny Bower poke check by Grant Fuhr. But on that play, Murray Barron takes the slash on Tardif. Just as we see the Grant Fuhr. Am I allowed to call that the Johnny Bower poke check, or is that the Grant Fuhr poke check?
Johnny did it first.
But Murray Barron gets the slashing call. When a defenseman gets beat on in a speed situation, the natural reaction is to give the whack. Here's the whack right here by Barron. You can see the full two-hand. And that was a great angle of the Johnny Bower, Grant Fuhr. We'll give it to both of them. Poke check.
101 into the third period, and it's power play number 5 for the Los Angeles Kings. Power play number 6, pardon me, they're 0 for 5 on the power play. And what do you see? What have you seen tonight, Ryan, is the biggest problem on this LA power play?
Well, the LA power play needs puck possession right here, and it needs it in the offensive zone. The problem on a power play, sometimes you let up a little bit. You have to make use of the 5-on-4 situation. Put the puck on net and get players to the front of the net. We're good in the corner.
Volpat to Saplakov to Volpat. Saplakov with it again. Back to Volpat. Boucher. Rims it up around. Saplakov picks it up. And Chris Pronger, lots of room to get it down the ice. 1:15 to go in the power play.
One of the reasons that St. Louis has been effective on the penalty kill is they've gone into a diamond setup in their own end, Paul, instead of the box. And that's taking away the shot from the point man. The LA defenseman doesn't want to take that shot when the guy in the top of the diamond is so close to him.
Nordstrom trying to get it down in front there for Saplakov, but the loose puck cleared down the ice. 50 seconds left in the power play for Los Angeles. The Kings trailing the Blues 2-1 early here in the third period. Here's Hull shorthanded to Gretzky. And Gretzky, the smart play, just steers it back. The Blues maintain possession. McInnes off the boards, couldn't get it out. Puck just dropped down, comes back out. Nordstrom looking for it. Perreault is parked in front. Lacroix trying to get loose. Yannick Perreault dropping it down. Ferrero sending it out in front. That's knocked loose. Here's Nordstrom. Gets it across. Was behind Ferrero. Yachmanev to Perreault. Yannick Perreault shooting. That's kicked away. Penalized player back out there. King still with the pressure. In front. They jam at it. Lacroix had a chance, but Fuhrer holding him off. And the Kings frustrated again.
Mario Lemieux is out to make a little bit of history. We may be in for some of it tonight. His next goal will be his 500th. Now Lemieux, and there's number 500. Mario Lemieux.
Now every time Mark Messier steps out on the ice could be an historic moment. He shoots, he scores! Mark Messier, number 500. What a night for Mark Messier.
Grant Fuhr in his 15th season continues to shine. It's one of the reasons he's on top of that puck all the time. And there is an amazing statistic, Paul.
70 consecutive starts. He's been pulled the last couple of games. John Casey's gotten a bit of work. Wouldn't surprise me if Fuhr started every game this year. Although I expect, I could see Mike Keenan even starting him and pulling him after 5 minutes, but getting him in there just to get that record. To start every single game in an 82-game schedule.
And I don't think anybody expected that. When you look at the battle Keenan and Fuhr had in the preseason and training camp, when Keenan said that Fuhr was a little bit overweight.
Here's Todd. Chuchuk up there with him. Todd upended. Chuchuk trying to get to the front of the net. And meanwhile, Patrice Tardif was drilled. He gets up slowly and sans helmet and heads back towards the bench.
Got that little French stuff there. That's awesome.
McKinnis said to tag it up. Icing called in the Kings. 16:06 to go in the third period. Blues up by a score of 2-1.
There, Patrice Tardif got the big bang. He was in behind the net, and his helmet came right off. Adam Creighton was the guy that nailed him. Seen some good contact in this game, some good hits. Both teams playing an aggressive style. Right here as Tardif comes with the puck off the boards. He is just unaware of Adam Creighton, and Creighton nails him.
Adam Creighton, another one of those guys who Mike Keenan has had follow him around during his career. He coached Adam in Chicago. He's also coached Igor Kravchuk previously. And going down the list, a number of players. It's funny how coaches like to do that. Scotty Bowman does the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. When you look at even Jacques Lemaire, New Jersey, brought some players from Montreal from his experience there. I think a coach gets a feel for the player. You can see the on-ice talent. You don't always know the off-ice.
Here comes Zezel up there. He's stopped by Rudy. Peter Zezel with a burst of speed to come through and create the chance, and he also drew a penalty. So the Blues will go on the power play.
Pete Zezel with a good burst of speed. Heads to the front of the net. Kelly Rudy, watch the fake shot by Zezel. An excellent fake around Boucher and then gets hauled down. See, Peter Zezel, that's a lost art here in the last 5 or 10 years. I think more players should use the fake. Good save by Rudy as Zezel goes right into him.
You know, Peter Zezel was a real sniper at one point in his career. Good offensive player with the Toronto Marlies back in junior hockey, and even back early in his NHL career. He had 72 points one year with Philadelphia in '86-'87, but he's kind of lost that element of his game.
Yes, he has. He's been put into a bit of a defensive role. Pete Zezel, they're hoping, will be a bit of a playoff element too, in that he followed with Mike Keenan to the Stanley Cup Finals twice with Philadelphia. Of course, they didn't win those times, but they're hoping to next time.
The Blues power play with Gretzky in the lineup, up over 18%, and he's out there now on the power play with Corson and Hull. Pronger and McKinnis back at the blue line. McKinnis shoots it up, knocked down, and Matthias Nordstrom can't get it out. Gretzky shoots. He hit the goal post. Rebound in front, and Rudy will cover it up. You could not hit the post any straighter than Wayne Gretzky just did. Off the post, right back out.
We're about 25 rows from the top up here in the Great Western Forum or somewhere there, and you could hear it here. Kaboom! Bing! Straight out. Kelly Rudy's looking behind him. Watch the turnover here. Hull creates the turnover. Gretzky with a rolling puck hits the post flat.
1:47 to go on the power play for St. Louis. The Blues lead it 2-1. Here's McInnes. See if he gets a chance to use that cannon that he possesses back there. This is Gretzky in the office, trying to get it in front. Knocked down by Smolik. Pronger fires it up, tipped in front, knocked away. Hall down in the corner, trying to dig that puck loose. Comes around Pronger, there to keep it in, but only momentarily. Fired out to center. 1:20 to go on the St. Louis power play. Corson tips it, and it bounces up into the Kings bench. We get a stoppage with 1:16 left in the man advantage.
Had a good talk with Shane Corson before the game, and you know, he was one of the guys that I played with in Montreal. It's amazing to watch his career, Paul, and that he was just a kid when we were in Montreal together. He played there as a 19 and 20-year-old, and he's a real key in the power play. You'll see Shane Corson in front of the net. Corson has an element to him. He's a feisty player, plays on the edge, and when he does, he's very effective for the St. Louis Blues.
Puck bounces down there to Fuhr. Here's McInnes. Gretzky cuts in, up to Hull. Puck back to Pronger. Here's Corson. Brett Hull with it. Gretzky down low. He'll take the pass. Gretzky looks out. He's got Hull there. Corson's out front too. McInnes moving in as well. Plenty of options. Hull shoots. Big stop by Rudy, and he covers it up. Quick release by Brett Hull, but he couldn't beat Kelly Rudy that time.
That's got to be about the third time that Kelly Rudy's looked behind him in the last 4 shots. Watch Hull get up, and Gretzky gets him the puck. Great release. Rudy with the turned neck again. He's wondering if that puck's behind him, and it ends up in front of him. Great soft pass by Gretzky to Hull. That's called a one-timer. Kelly Rudy's going to get a sore neck looking back there all the time.
39 seconds left in the power play. Took the quick look, but so far he's been happy with what he's seen behind him, and that is just net. No puck in the net.
Sometimes, sorry Paul, sometimes that's a sign that a goalie's guessing.
Anderson's out there now for St. Louis on this power play. So's Peter Zezel. But neither will have a chance to touch the puck in this particular series. Christer Olsen back to pick it up.
You were mentioning about Al McInnes not getting shots in the power play. One of the reasons is that the Blues have been playing the puck down low, not worrying about the point shot as much.
Stefan Matteau, who has one tonight, gets it back out. Matteau, 5 seconds left in the power play. Puck centered out. That's fired up. Kravchuk beaten by Rudy. Rudy has looked rock solid here in this third period. He's looked good all night for that matter.
Yes, he has.
Here comes Todd. He's jarred along the boards. Teams are back at even strength. LA trailing St. Louis 2-1. Boucher up along the boards. Both teams on a change. McInnes with it now. Up to McTavish. Leach. He's upended. Kristich coming back. Zaplakov takes it. Zaplakov shoots. Fuhr will hold on.
Another textbook save by Grant Fuhr. You can see him standing on the top of his crease. We have a little bit of action in front of him. You don't often see Grant Fuhr back farther than the top of the crease. And that's the reason that he's able to front the puck right here. Saplakov gets a good shot, but look where Fuhr is. Out far enough and yet not too far out. Great shot, great save.
Your old buddy Larry Robinson has never missed the playoffs, never missed them once as a player. He's going to do it here as a coach by the looks of it.
Yeah, he holds the record for 20 consecutive times in the playoffs as a player. He's got to eat away at him to not make it as a coach. And yet Larry told me just before the game, he's a little upset here. He told me before the game that he and Rick Green are going to take July off, jump on their boats, and travel up through Ontario and just get away from this whole situation. Come back, he hopes, with a fresh approach.
Here's McKinnis, pocket picked by Kristich. Now McTavish there to keep him company. Saplakov picks it up. Kristich bulldozing his way out with that puck in front. Saplakov shoots. The net dislodged and play whistled down. But a great effort by Dmitry Kristich. Just burrowed into that corner. Came out with the puck. The Kings almost clicked.
Bonjour, class.
To create Wendy's new country French chicken sandwich, Dave not only studied French, he became French.
Oui.
So when he took Wendy's seasoned whole breast filet, processed Swiss, and Dijon mustard sauce and placed it all on a delicious country French roll, what was left to say?
Dave, votre nouveau poulet très bon. Muchas gracias.
Wendy's new country French chicken. C'est magnifique.
Closed captioning this period brought to you by Thruway Muffler, where top quality muffler suspension and brake service is fully guaranteed. Red Hull clears it up. Matteau looking for it. Didn't find it though. Ray Ferrero does. Almost walked through. Puck wouldn't sit for him. Now Hull clears it down into Los Angeles territory. Nordstrom gets it up around. John Drew starting back out for the Kings. Kings need one to tie. Offside called there. That was Tardif trying to come in.
They need lots of offense here from Patrice Tardif, or at least action and movement towards the net. Talking about his size. Second year in the National Hockey League, 6'2", 200. From Thetford Mines, Quebec. I spent lots of time in Quebec this year with the CHL and enjoyed my time there. Tardif had a good career, or at least a good start to his career there.
Yeah, you're right at home in the Belle Province.
Oui, oui.
3 years in the Montreal Canadiens. And hello, Lafayette with a big hit there as he stepped into Barron. Meanwhile, puck down the other way is cleared out. McKinnis there to pick it up. Nathan Lafayette has impressed me tonight. A couple of good hits, a couple of good scoring chances. I think the Kings are going to be very happy with him.
You're not going to get a lot of offense from Lafayette. In 97 games as a pro, he's about 12, 13 points. But you're going to get some good speed.
He fires one up there. The rebound comes out, and Grant Fuhr just bowled over. Lafayette fired the shot in, and that was Potomski going to the net. Potomski, one of the guys who Rick Green singled out this morning when we were chatting with him as a guy who will go to that net, drive the front of the goal, and he was looking for Lafayette's rebound there.
And it's interesting when you think of their theory, Green and Robinson, the coaches, that they need more action in front of the opposition goalie, and look at that. Potomski's all over Fuhr. Here's a hit by Lafayette on Barron. Barron had the puck, gave it away. Nathan Lafayette had a great playoff season, though, with the Vancouver Canucks before he was traded to the New York Rangers. One of the reasons I'm sure Neil Smith from New York got him was because of his play against the Rangers in the Stanley Cup final a bunch of seasons ago.
Here's Here's Todd up there after that puck for the Kings. He's checked out of the play. Doug Smolik back to pick it up. Smolik with the only Los Angeles goal tonight, and you don't expect that kind of thing from Doug Smolik. A laser beam to the top corner, or all right to the bottom corner. Only his second goal of the year.
And it was a good shot. Smolik should have more than 2 goals. A shot like that.
Here's Zezel. Tapped away at the line, offside. Called in the Blues. 11:06 to go in the third period.
Well, Zezel was trying to get around Jan Vopat. Vopat does a good job with his stick. Peter Zezel's had good speed here in the third period. The third line player. And, you know, it's interesting as you and I were talking, McCreary and Robinson talked after the end of the second period as Robinson went over. You see here Tony Granato. The reason that everybody's standing is that Tony Granato is on the screen. I had a good talk with Tony. And you get a look at Tony Granato, who went through brain surgery. And he met with the media in March. He doesn't know if his career is over. Many think that he'll return. But what a courageous effort by Granato, who was knocked into the boards in a game in January against Hartford and woke up with a bad headache and ended up with brain surgery. Many believe he'll be fine, though, and hopefully will return, we hope, to this game of hockey.
Tardif trying to come in. Puck knocked back outside the line. Tardif scrumming after it. It's pushed into St. Louis territory. Here's Tardif again. Ferrero up for Tardif to Drews. Shooting! That's knocked away. And the net dislodged. The faceoff will come back outside the blue line. It was an LA player who knocked it off the pegs. And here's Murray Barron getting into the thick of things. Ray Ferrero's over there, and here we go.
Well, Al McInnes grabbed his man, wrestled him to the ice. Patrice Tardif was trying to get after Barron, and McInnes grabbed him. I think it's going to come of it, but it looked like it might happen.
And now that's Tardif and Stéphane Matteau. And Matteau going toe-to-toe with Tardif. And they each land a couple.
Tardif has got a better grab of his Matteau's right hand now, but for a while he only had his shoulder.
So Tardif will head to the box. Matteau will do likewise. This all comes with 10.5 minutes to play in the third period. The Blues leading 2-1. We've had no scoring here in the third period.
Here's the action that began the skirmish. I think that net's been off about 4 or 5 times here in this game. That's an indication of LA, the Los Angeles Kings, going hard to the net. See, Patrice Tardif just knocked the net off right here. I didn't think he wanted to get out of the way on that one, did he? And here's what starts at the blue line. You saw Barron on the top left of your screen. And that's why Tardif got involved with Barron and then ended up getting involved with Stéphane Matteau.
And Ray Ferrero was in there stirring things up as well. Story in this game of the Los Angeles Kings' lack of offense on the power play. 0 for 6 in the power play. Wayne Gretzky picking up the 2,600th point of his career. A goal and an assist. Gretzky comes up big on his return to Los Angeles as a St. Louis Blue.
Well, I was telling you between periods the Gretzky story that I remember, Paul. We broke in, Gretzky and I broke in together. I was in Washington and was traded to Montreal and ended up playing with Larry Robinson. But Gretzky and I broke in the same season. His rookie card is worth between $800 and $1,000, and mine's, guess, well, I've already told you, I can't ask you to guess. Mine's worth $1.30, so a little bit of a difference there.
And yours I still have. I think I traded away the Gretzky one, so.
You got to hang on to mine. I've got lots of upside there, eh?
I'm not giving out stock tips, though, with investments like that. 10.5 minutes to go in the third period, and An extra 2 minutes. The bottom of all this is an extra 2 minutes going up in the clock against the Los Angeles Kings. So it's a power play for the St. Louis Blues and a chance for the Blues to really shove a dagger into the comeback hopes of the Los Angeles Kings. Hull, Corson, and Gretzky up front. Pronger back at the blue line. Pushes that one up there. Here's Corson with it. He's knocked down. Hull knocked the puck loose, and Kelly Hrudey just hanging on. 1:28 to go in the power play for St. Louis.
Now it's Stephen Finn with the good hit on Corson. In behind the net, Shane Corson is going to be the guy that gets Gretzky the puck and then ends up in front of the net. Finn had a great hit on Corson. In behind the net as Corson's reaching for the puck right here. You see Stephen Finn be very aggressive on the penalty kill. That's how LA is going to have to kill this penalty. One of the ways you can keep the puck away from Wayne Gretzky.
Smallwood looking for a bit of room, and he gets some help to get that puck down the ice. McInnes hustling back to take it. To Kravchuk. Puck just cleared in. Corson up there after it. Blues trying to set something up on this power play. 1:03 to go in the man advantage for the Blues. Here's Gretzky. Walks in front. Hrudey stopped that one. Puck cleared to the line, but not out. McInnes over to Kravchuk. Back to McInnes. Here's Hull. To Gretzky. Gets it out. Puck fired wide by Kravchuk, who moved way in from that left point. And Smolik gets it down the ice. 38 seconds to go in the power play.
As you pointed out, when Gretzky is in his office behind the net, everybody collapses. Smolik came down that time, and so did Al McInnes. It's really like a 4-1 in front of the net.
Puck bouncing up over the glass and the clear in there. 24 seconds still to go in the power play. 2-1, St. Louis leading. Wayne Gretzky with a goal and an assist tonight. He scored early in the second period and helped to set up Stefan Matteau's goal.
Watch the hands of Wayne Gretzky with a good pass out. That's Kravchuk. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the 5 St. Louis Blues down in underneath the hash marks. That means that they're trying to get in a position so that Gretzky can get them the puck.
Kevin Todd up there after for the Kings, shorthanded. And Gary Shuchuk with a nice hit. So the Kings dishing a bit out shorthanded. Here's Glenn Anderson. Up around to Adam Creighton. Creighton backhand shot. Hrudey grabs it and he will hold on.
Matthias Nordstrom with the big hit on Glenn Anderson. And that brought a response.
Teams back at even strength. 8:28 to go in the third. We're back in a flash.
Oh, what a shame. Okay, here we go. Why, thank you. Molson Ultra, a smooth, strong, dry beer that goes great with watching an opponent take his best shot. Oh, I'm sorry. Must have been someone I ate. Okay, count the Papa Dragon. What? What? I was stretching. Molson Ultra, 6.2% dry. Wickedly smooth beer.
Yes, Nordstrom draws a little bit of a crowd because of that aggression.
Why the reluctance of so many players, and Rick Green was talking about this morning, Ryan, why the reluctance on the part of so many players to go to the net as opposed to, say, 10 years ago?
Well, I think that was one of the reasons we just saw right there, Paul. You pay a price to get to the front of the net, but when you go to the front of the net, you're rewarded many, many times. And sometimes that puck will go off your skate, other times off your stick.
But are you fouled more viciously now than was the case 10 or 15 years ago? Are the players led away with more?
I think that's a valid question. I didn't, I would say that I paid a price. I can remember 15 years ago paying a price. I think you always pay a price to go to the front of the net. It's just how much of a price you want to pay.
Here's Kravchuk trying to shake off the check. He pokes the puck up ahead there. Hudson dancing in. He's bumped. He paid a price there, and Jan Vopat comes back with the spoils. Here's Vopat waiting, shooting. He drilled that one wide. This is Finn. Gretzky just banks it back, knocked down at the line by Vopat. By the way, Jan Vopat, not to be confused with Roman Vopat, who the St. Louis Blues gave up to the LA Kings in a trade earlier this year. Roman is back playing very well in junior hockey and will be a good prospect. I know Mike Keenan was sad to have to give him up in the deal. Vopat has a heck of a shot. He started the year with the Blues before being sent back to junior.
Both Vopat's large in stature, and Roman Vopat's going to be a good player. Saw him play with the Prince Albert Raiders this season.
And Finn back there to tag it up. Icing called on the St. Louis Blues. 6:50 to go in the third period. 2-1, the Blues leading the Kings.
Well, I spent a little bit of time with Larry Robinson this afternoon and Ricky Green, two guys that I played with in Montreal. And there's a life without Gretzky. Robinson was saying in the media that you can see the difference there. The key to this was that it was finally done. There was so much speculation around Gretzky and what would happen, and now that it's done, life without Gretzky is at least better than life with him, with the speculation that he was going to go somewhere.
Well, through no fault of Wayne Gretzky's, I'm sure it was a very unhappy Los Angeles dressing room there for several weeks while all of that was going on.
Yeah, I don't think Gretzky, you heard of him talking about it in the media, I don't think he enjoyed that time either. Really took the focus away from the team and put it solely on one player for about a month.
And during that month, Wayne Gretzky had only 6 points, a goal and 5 assists, his worst month of the year, the month of February. The Kings only won 1 game during February. They really nosedived. Zaplakov poking at that puck, number 9 up there for LA, trying to get it loose, really working it, but the puck doesn't come out. And we'll get another face-off down in St. Louis territory. Well, can the playoffs be all that far away? I don't think so, because we're talking about golf. This Thursday, PGA Tour. First round coverage live on TSN. 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Love this time of year. We're talking about golf, playoff hockey. Baseball is going to start up. Great time of the year for a sports fan.
Used to remember playing in the playoffs, Romy. You come back from your pregame meal, turn the golf on, watch a bit, have a bit of a pregame sleep, and get ready for the match at night.
Here's Smolik. Wrist shot up there that found its way through. Smolik lighting it up tonight. He's got a goal and a couple of shots on goal. And I say that tongue-in-cheek because Doug Smolik, known primarily as a very stay-at-home defensive defenseman, he only has 2 goals this year. Here comes Pearson. Zezel clears it in. Puck bouncing up there. McInnes feeds it back in. Peter Zezel up to forecheck for St. Louis. Pearson's up there too. But the Kings will start back. Yannick Perreault hits the line. Dropped it back. Offside called on the Kings. Perreault was trying to come in, and Nathan Lafayette was offside.
Now Lafayette with that speed that we talked about, a little bit offside. Yannick Perreault is going to be a good young hockey player. He is a good young hockey player right now.
Close games between these two clubs this year, and this game following that pattern. It's their final meeting of the regular season, and they've all been pretty tight. In fact, you can't get much tighter. 1-0, 2-1, a tie game.
Sure can. You see Mike Keenan behind the bench. His assistant tonight is Bob Barry. Roger Crozier mentioned to me, who's the other co-coach, mentioned to me, gee, maybe I should let Bobby Barry go behind the bench. because he was here for quite a while as a coach, and then he piped up and said, well, I was here for 28 games. And that's true. Roger Nielsen was also here as a coach.
Is there anywhere Roger hasn't been as a coach?
Well, Bobby Barry, I broke into the Montreal Canadiens with Bob Barry. He was our coach there for a number of seasons, and I got to give him a lot of credit. He gave me lots of ice time. I'm thankful about that. He's not very happy about the penalty, though, that Hudson's going to get here. You saw Barry with the reaction.
Mike Hudson called for high sticking. Pardon me, interference is the call.
Yeah, Mike Hudson. Actually, Bob Barry might be right on there. It looked like Mike Hudson was going to the boards as the puck came, and you can see Barry still upset about the call.
So big time power play chance here for the Los Angeles Kings. Trailing by a goal late in the third period. And here's Ray Ferraro. Puck skips by him, but Kristich has it. Kristich gets it back out there. Nordstrom also out at the blue line. Puck in front, fired there by Kristich. Rebound comes out. Back to the line, and it hopped over the stick of Yachmanev, and that's trouble for the Kings. Hall was almost able to rush in. Pass up ahead. Ferraro going to the net. Kristich has it. Zaplakov up there as well. And Pronger breaks it up and clears it up for St. Louis. Here's Nordstrom. Up ahead. Ferraro waits. Pronger blocked that one. And then he is all over Ferraro in the corner. Zaplakov to Nordstrom. Zaplakov is robbed by Grant Fuhr. And the puck was still loose, but a quick whistle coming from Bill McCreary, the referee. What a great chance for Vladimir Zaplakov. Had lots of time to set it up in front, but could not finish.
Tremendous lateral movement by Grant Fuhr. He comes straight across. Watch the lateral movement that happens here by Grant Fuhr. Zaplakov moves laterally, so does Fuhr. Just doesn't get any better than that. Look at this movement right across. Zaplakov's got nothing to shoot at. But Grant Fuhr is on top of his game right there. Great toe save. Zaplakov pays the price as that's Shane Corson on top of him.
The Kings have a forward, Vitaly Yachmanev, playing back at the right point. Back there with Matthias Nordstrom. Todd up on the faceoff. And Yachmanev couldn't keep it in. Nordstrom. 55 seconds left in the power play. Here comes Todd. He'll dish it up. Lafayette trying to get open over on the left-hand side. He'll move in towards the front of the net. Kings try to get some traffic down in front of Fuhr. 40 seconds left in the power play. Yachmanev. That is blocked and tipped out.
Good move by Glenn Anderson to be in front of that puck, but again, that's just experience. Yachmanev's got to get the puck through. And Anderson shin pad on that play.
And the puck skipping by Nordstrom there. 19 seconds left in the man advantage for the Kings. Maybe time for one more rush. 3:25 to go in the third period. St. Louis leading Los Angeles 2-1. Lead pass up ahead. Lafayette will give chase to the corner. Bumping there with Pronger. And Brett Hull just lifting it down the ice. The LA Kings 0 for 7 in the power play tonight. Up into the corner now. Tardif looking for it. And it comes to Leach. He'll get it out. Finn firing that puck back in there. Drews trying to get up in deep there to forecheck to pressure McInnes. Adam Creighton striding after him. Fired away from him. Puck bounces down. Drews spun around and couldn't maintain a grip on that puck. McTavish coming back up for St. Louis. McTavish clears it in. Leach coming up hard after it. Rudy clears it to the corner, but Leach is there for St. Louis. Leach and McTavish both looking for that puck. Pronger couldn't keep it in. This is Adam Creighton. 2:15 to go. And St. Louis leading 2-1. And Wayne Gretzky's return to the Great Western Forum here in Los Angeles as a member of the St. Louis Blues. The great one has come through with a couple of points, a goal, and an assist.
You gotta wonder when Larry Robinson, the head coach, is gonna look to pull Kelly Rudy. Trying to tie up here, probably within the last minute of the game, possibly before.
Here comes Hall up there. He drops it back. Centered in front by Mateau. That's knocked away. Right now, the Kings having trouble getting into their own end. Mateau up there. Steps into Volpat. Lacroix starting back. Rudy looking towards the bench, but he's not going yet. Fuhrer clears it to the corner. Ferrero's up there after it. Rudy still hasn't left the net. 1:22 to go. And the puck cleared down the ice. It's going to be on goal, so icing waved off. Volpat back to claim it. Blues hustle in a change as the Kings hustle it out. 1:05 left. Puck cleared up to the line. Yachmanev looking for it. Couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Finn. The Kings trying to get Rudy to the bench. Get the extra attacker out there. McKinnis with it. 45 seconds to go. Here's Finn. Finn starting out. Gets it up ahead. Yachmanev in there for the Kings. Rudy dashing to the bench. Here's Kristich looking in front. He centers it. Bouncing puck. Fired up there by Boucher. Scroll ball. It ends up back of the goal. Kings pressuring here. An extra attacker. But they can't keep it in. Here's Boucher. 20 seconds left. Time for one more push. Kristich rips it in there. But the Kings can't get up in time. Here's Kristich now. Knocked away. Empty net for Hull. And that will salt it away for the Blues. Brett Hull scores into the empty net.
There wasn't much doubt of Brett Hall's shot there. He's been getting good shots all night, but that one was on an empty net. I don't think that one was set up by Gretzky. How about that, Paul?
That might not have been. It's his 40th of the year and puts him now within 18 of 500 for his career. That'll be one of the easier ones of the 500, I'm sure, when he's tallying them all up. An unassisted goal for Brett Hull into the empty net. It's 3-1 for St. Louis. And that will do it. The Kings hung in there, but in the end, the St. Louis Blues with a 3-1 win, and the Los Angeles Kings losing streak now hits 4 games.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Well, Wayne Gretzky enjoys his homecoming. He celebrates it with a couple of points, a goal and an assist as the Blues win it 3-1.
The Olympic spirit, to strive, to soar, to face any challenge. It means so much more in real life. That's why we created the Spirit of Canada Fund, to support programs that help develop, train, and show our children that in life, as in sport, anything is possible.
McCain now brings you the freshest tasting frozen pizza ever made. Introducing new McCain Pizza Premier in the unique vacuum-packed flavor lock package that seals air out so it stays fresher tasting longer. It cooks in just half the time and has a tender no-mess rim. So whenever you're ready for pizza, McCain Pizza Premier is ready for you in fresh tasting deli lovers, pepperoni, and deluxe. McCain Pizza Premier. We've got a lock on fresh taste.
Crank up the action with the hottest non-stop stadium rock ever on Jock Rock. Feel the excitement of hit after hit. Taking care of business. Moni Moni. I Got You. Dance to the music. What I Like About You. And We Will Rock You. Don't miss the greatest crowd rockin' hits ever. Jock Rock, Volumes 1 and 2 and Jock Jams. They'll make you feel good.
For more than 4 years, they've been preparing to ignore every hurdle in their path, to stab the sky, to become airborne, because after mere seconds, only one will be first. Mizuno, serious performance.
Wendy's new country French chicken tastes so delicious.
Bonjour, Dave. Bonjour.
It has everyone speaking French. Could it be Wendy's country French roll?
Comment ça va, Dave? Bien.
The processed Swiss topped with Dave's tangy Dijon sauce.
Bonjour, Dave.
Bonjour.
Or Wendy's seasoned whole breast filet.
C'est magnifique. Merci.
Whatever. It's a sandwich so delicious, only Dave could have made it.
Hi, Dave.
Bonjour, mes amis.
He's gotta be stopped.
Come try Wendy's new country French chicken.
Here at tonight's Molson Cup 3 Stars in St. Louis's 3-1 victory over Los Angeles. All three of these guys played together last year. Kelly Rudy is star number 3 with 23 saves. Star number 2 with 36 stops is Grant Fuhren. Who would star number 1 be? Well, guess who? Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, with the goal and an assist, leading St. Louis to the victory. We'll be back with more on the NHL tonight when we return in just a moment.
You know what's great about people? We come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and no two of us are exactly alike. It's kind of like Mr. Sub. With all the great tastes and free toppings, you can have your Mr. Sub about any way you want. In lots of different sizes, too. So no matter what you're up to, Mr. Sub's got a size that's up to it. Hey, we're not out for world domination. We just like to change the shape of things to come. By the way, the future comes on white or whole wheat.
Put something on your body, it better mean something too. This means be a leader, not a follower. 808 is in memory of my cousin Bobby Moore. Stay real means never lose sight of what's important. Never lose sight. This means I get my rap balls first. These are my rap balls. Some serious kicks. This means there's only one place you should be going to get them. Me? I already got mine.
The new Adidas Rat Ball at Foot Locker.
When Car Guide magazine was determining the best value among economy cars, one really rose to the occasion. A car standardly equipped with a Bosch engine management system, four-wheel fully independent suspension, front and rear crumple zones, and a one-piece side body panel, just like Mercedes. Rising above the rest is Car Guide's best buy among economy cars. The 96 Accent from Hyundai, a tough car to beat.
Rough roads, sharp curves. To keep a firm grip on roads like this depends upon your shock absorbers. Look, with a worn-out shock absorber, the wheel leaves the road. But with a new Monroe Sensatrack shock absorber, your tire holds the road. With Monroe Sensatrack, even the most demanding road feels safer. Monroe Sensatrack, making the road a safer place. Have your shocks checked every 20,000 kilometers just to be safe.
It is indeed now time for the TSN Turning Point. And the turning point taking place, we'll say in the second period. Wayne Gretzky picks up the 2,600th point of his career on Stefan Matteau's goal. Gretzky got it around out front. Brett Hull also picking up an assist. And Matteau picks up the goal. Gretzky was also in there. Gretzky had a goal tonight. And the St. Louis Blues winning this game 3-1. You know, the Blues with only 4 losses in their last 18 road games. A cash donation we made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of coaches in amateur sport. On behalf of TSN and Interstate Batteries, we check them before you buy them for fresh power guaranteed. 3-1 the final score. St. Louis looking good in Wayne Gretzky's homecoming, if you will. He picks up a couple of points.
Well, that win for St. Louis does more than give Wayne Gretzky a sentimental win over his former team. It kind of elevates the Blues above that nasty pack fighting for the last 4 spots in the Western Conference. St. Louis now opens up a 5-point lead over Vancouver. The Blues still have a game in hand on the Canucks, so it kind of looks like Vancouver down to Winnipeg will fight it out for those last 4 spots, and St. Louis might have just put themselves a cut above the rest.
And the team that does get itself into 5th place will likely end up meeting the St. Louis Blues in the first round of the playoffs, assuming the Blues don't go give up that 5-point lead with 1 game in hand.
Which brings up the interesting question quickly, is St. Louis the kind of team you'd want to face in the first round? Some teams say yes.
There's some teams I think equipped to deal with the Blues. They're not a particularly fast team. Having said that, I don't know that I want to go up against any team that's got Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hull in its lineup in the first round of the playoffs.
All right, well, it's been a very busy night in the National Hockey League in terms of the standings. Some important games in the East. And when we come back, we'll take you through the scores, the highlights, the injury news. There's significant injury news on a couple of fronts. All that's coming up when we return.